Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Smoking Tire Podcast. This podcast is brought to you by Continental OETS. Think of all the weird things found in cars. I'm not talking about your garden variety petrified French fries or melted crayons. I'm talking about live snakes, bizarre trinkets, the kind of stuff that makes you just wonder about, folks. Another thing that will make you wonder, but in a good way, are Continental belts. I bet you didn't know Continental belts are original equipment in tens of millions of Chrysler, Dodge, Ford, and GM vehicles that roll off the assembly line. They're also original equipment on the majority of BMWs and Volkswagens. Now, Continental is launching the aftermarket multi-V belt with the OE pedigree. It's their OE Technology Series, belts that are fantastically engineered for a perfect fit, form, and function. And Continental has an OE Technology Series multi-V belt for 98% of the vehicles on the road in the US and Canada. Hey, you get enough surprises when working on cars and trucks. A belt shouldn't be one of them. Go with the Continental OE Series multi-V belt, the belt with the OE pedigree. To get the full story, visit OETechnologySeries.com. That's OETechnologySeries.com. This podcast is also brought to you by Autotempest.com. I love Autotempest.com because you know what I hate? Doing double work. I like to do something well and do it one time. Autotempest.com prevents me from having to search over and over on different car sites for the same car. They do all that work for me, folks. They do it for me. When you go to Autotempest.com, it searches all those places at once for you and then compares the results to AutoTrader and Craigslist. It's genius, folks. We love having them as a sponsor. They've been here for a while. They're going to be around. It saves me time. It's going to save you time. That is what Autotempest.com does. Check it out. And on this episode of the podcast, we've got our old friends Alex Roy and Mike Spinelli in studio. These guys are in town shooting some car culture stuff for the Drive on NBC Sports show that I used to be on, but I'm not on anymore. Plus, our old boss, Emil Rensing, is going to prison. He was a real piece of shit. He fucked a lot of people. And we get to sit around and enjoy the fact that he is now going. I mean, when someone who fucks you gets sent to prison, even if they're getting sent to prison for something that isn't them fucking you, it feels really good. So this is a fun episode. Me, Mike Spinelli, and Alex Roy. It's the Smoking Tire Podcast.
This whole thing that we've just been doing is the best preamble to anything since the first three notes of Stevie Ray Vaughan's second solo in the David Bowie song China Girl.
Someone has never seen 2001: A Space Odyssey.
Spinelli was able to get something on the second take.
Yeah.
Have you been practicing?
I am a motherfucking professional. At least this moment I am.
Someone point a video camera at him so he can break down.
Matthew.
Oh, welcome to the show. It's the Smoking Tire Podcast from a Sunday afternoon. It sucks to be inside today doing this because it was so beautiful out. But when you have people on a Sunday, you get them in the room, you do a show. Zach's back in the building. He was on the side of the road filming a concept car drive by.
Far away in Agora Hills.
How many times did you film the car go?
Oh, you want to know how many times I filmed anything? That's a zero.
Zero?
I was there just to command the police officers and help with that.
Oh my God.
So
I was
used two
there
brain
to
cells.
command the police officers.
That was a little boasting.
Fuck. But I bet when you got home it was nice feeling that that's what you were doing all day.
No, what's funny is when you pay cops to close a road, they're so chill.
Yeah.
Kavanaugh,
chill.
what are you doing? What are you doing? I told you, 3 centimeters over.
When we paid cops to close the road outside of Palm Springs to do our tuner car shootout, cop was like, he would hear me go up the hill in this fucking crazy Porsche that sounded like shotguns when you'd shift. He'd go, what was that, like 130, 140? I was like, yeah, about that. He's like, God damn, that thing is so cool.
You know, that's the thing. I mean, when we did that episode where we closed down 33.
Yeah.
And those guys were the greatest.
Oh my God. Talk about a luxury, closing a road.
Wait, Matt, at this point, can you, if you get
Hi,
pulled,
Alex
can
Roy.
you even get pulled over and get a ticket? Can you get a ticket?
Definitely.
In Southern California?
I don't know. Probably. Probably. Yeah, the last tickets I got were in Southern California. I got a clean record, you know.
Have we talked about Mr.
Did I tell
Tickets
you about this?
lately?
That I have a clean record for the first time since I was 23 years old. And on the day my last point dropped off, my insurance agent called me and said, "Your insurance just went down by $2,300 a year."
Wow. Holy crap. How many cars is that?
That's that was for 5.
Okay.
For 5 cars. But the sad thing about insurance is that the Lexus costs me more annually in insurance than all the other cars put together.
What's the mileage right now?
972,101. Two lovely people named Anna and Anton. Their YouTube channel is Adventureholics with an X. They're from Europe. They came over. They just landed. I delivered them the car with Aaron Gold. They drove it to the HRE open house on Saturday, which was fun. They came down. They're doing 15,000 miles in 3 months and change.
Wow.
Yeah.
What is the insurance in that car if it was a loan, just one car on the policy?
Wait,
Like if you just insured that car, nothing else.
that car has its own policy. Okay. That car is not on my policy. Okay. That car is insured by. That car is owned by the Smoking Tire LLC, and it's a policy that was designed for the exact thing that is being done with it, for total strangers to drive it. That's
Haggerty.
It's not Haggerty. It's I think it's actually through Progressive. But it's so expensive.
That's why
it's like
so costly,
It's like $4,000 a year.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's insanely expensive.
So if this doesn't, if you don't wrap this shit up soon,
Do you have
it's gonna
It's
be-
crazy.
What happens when you hit $1 million? Then
Fucking nothing. A whole bunch of fuck all. The plan right now is that when it gets to about $995, Zachary and I load the car on a Emirates airline A380 and fly it and us business class to Dubai, where we will finish our 5,000 miles road tripping the Middle East and bring the car to Oman, which is where all mid-90s Lexuses go anyway.
That's right. Remember that? Holy crap! So wait a minute. You saw that firsthand.
I want to cruise that beach on a Friday night in Oman. There's a beach where everyone goes in their mid-90s Lexuses and they cruise this beach like they do in Daytona, where you can drive on this beach and you buy stick food and you just drive back and forth.
Episode what of Drive on NBC
It
Sports?
was the Middle East special.
That's right.
It was the Middle East special where JF showed where I was fighting with Chris Harris.
Yes.
And I had a tiff with Chris Harris when he left the web show, and JF showed pity on me because that was our first shoot together. He didn't know if we were going to be mad at each other, so he sent me to Oman while you guys did other shit. He actually threw me a bone. I was like, you sequestered me in Oman. He was like, bro, I'm sending you on vacation with Thaddeus in Oman. It's like, have you ever been there? I was like, no. He's like, it's great.
There you go.
Were you in Vantage V12?
Yeah. And the Border Patrol stole our radios.
Yep.
You cannot have this in this country.
We
Really?
need new radios.
We need new radios.
Oman is beautiful, by the way. It's a nice
Incredible.
place.
It was super beautiful.
Yeah.
And that coastal road that we drove, that connects the UAE, go right in the border, and just right down this amazing, like. It's crazy because the houses are like out of the Bible, but the road is brand fucking new.
The roads they built them because the Crown Prince. It was the Crown Prince's birthday, and they were doing an I think an anniversary of something for the
Crown
country.
Prince bought a P1 and demands.
But I went there. All right, so this is sort of auto journalist shit. This is like I went there on a Bentley launch.
Yes.
And it was right after they had built all those roads, and those roads are, I mean, they're fantastic. But then there was one road because there's a dry lake bed or riverbed, and sometimes it floods the road.
Yeah.
And sometimes not so much. So you get to these beautiful, perfectly cambered, awesome pavement, and then you come down, and then it's a riverbed, and you're like, oh, well, I guess I can cross here today.
I guess this Bentley Continental Super Sports will have to do.
to raise the
and then-
suspension.
no, keep going. That's fine. Now we're
Does
good.
it just cover the road in silt, soil, whatever, and it's just flat, and you see the road on the other
Or was it
side?
a
and you
running
cross?
river?
I mean, this was 12 years ago, so I mean, it might have been. They might have changed something since then. But that's
not.
where the river goes when
Probably
there's a
not.
river there.
Well-
Like and then it's dirt, so you drive slow like on every other day. But it's like going from Spa to
Oh, the cross where you go from Germany to Belgium?
yes.
And they don't give a fuck anymore.
Yeah.
Germany.
It's real similar with the Nevada-California crossing is very similar, and the Utah-Colorado one is a big one too. Was it Utah or Nevada?
Nevada roads are nice.
Nevada roads are nice, and Utah roads are not nice, I think is the...
I think because they do salt on the roads.
The tarmac is real terrible in Utah, and what's otherwise very nice roads, I think. Alex, do you recall?
I'm trying to remember where it was, where the two ranches are. The border of like Nevada and California, and all the syringes and snuff videotapes left in the desert.
Oh,
where was that?
Well, Pahrump.
Pahrump.
Oh, yeah, Pahrump. The roads are a little rough. They're a little rough and outside of Pahrump.
Well, you were driving on the lake bed.
All I remember is that we found some like snuff movies on VHS and some syringes, and it was like half a mile down a dirt road from the ranch.
And we found like a pile of nails and like boards, and then we were watching you like streak across the desert. Like maybe we should check that road.
You can be in like Mexico and you can be so far from anything, and there's like a 12-pack. It's like, what did someone do out here with this stuff? Why were you stopping here to drink a 12-pack?
Speaking of nails and off-roading, did JLR just announce they're going to have autonomous off-road vehicles? Like, who the fuck would want to do
wants
that?
that?
Who wants that?
You know, I just thought, you've driven the newest Range Rover, right?
Yeah.
Have you driven it off-road, either of you?
No.
I think they've achieved the perfect level of luxury. Not that I want progress to stop entirely, but the 2013 and up current generation Range Rover is the easiest, most thought-free, most beautiful, blissful way to go off-roading that there is. But like, I still want to press the pedals and turn the wheel. Like, I don't want to be on an amusement park. You're in Jurassic Park. That's what you are. You're in Jurassic Park now.
Clever.
Yeah.
Can you set descent control and ascent control at the same time? So as soon as it gets to the bottom of a hill, it would start going up without touching the pedals?
I don't know. Probably.
Then all you're doing is
cut your
steering.
dick and balls off at the same time and without bleeding to death. This is the car for you.
At that point, you're basically driving a sailboat with no sails up. You're just moving a tiller and like slowly directing yourself up a trail.
What if you use descent control on an ascent? What happens?
Well, now you're just crazy.
Like the kind of off-roading that is hard enough that you might need descent control. Like, no, you almost can't. You can't do on Pirelli tires. We did some off-roading. Were you at the Range Rover SVR launch?
No.
Were you at this one?
No.
This was the silliest launch of all time. It's at Monticello, right? And you get in these Range Rovers, and you take a helmet. You don't put it on immediately. You put it in the back seat, and you drive on like a 3-mile like trail. You ford like a river, and you mud, and you like going sideways and sliding a bit up this thing, and you go down, you climb over a couple logs and whatever, and then you drive up on a rack. And there's two guys go with a power washer, and they go, all right, put your helmet on. And you drive straight onto the racetrack and run laps, that'll house like a MX-5 Cup.
So it's like a triathlon for cars. Actually, I think that's cool. If they just add guns, then it's like everything.
Just, can I get a turret on the top?
Fucking everything.
That's when you would enable autonomous off-roading.
Oh, so
There you go.
Maybe with autonomous off-roading, you could then fly a drone and film yourself autonomously off-roading. But then you could deploy one of those drones that had a follow thing on the other drone.
Right.
You could meta the fuck out of that.
It's like Nitro
Really?
Circus, but
Really, who wants that?
no.
It's autonomous
What if
Nitro
you break?
Circus. It's just bikes. It's just bikes flying over jumps.
You know how people drive into rivers and they're like, well, the GPS said to go straight.
So you think you can off-road would be quite a show?
Oh, my God.
You have to race the truck.
Well, I mean, you have to get someone's never
Autonomous
used a
versus-
winch, gets stuck, let's get themselves out of that.
Ooh, can the autonomous thing do a winch though? No.
Autonomous winch, a self-winching device
That's
would be cool.
a harpoon. That's really what that is. It tracks itself out.
Isn't it amazing how Knight Rider is like a documentary?
I like that you can get that Knight Rider car on Turo. That's fun.
Can you?
Yeah, you can get kit now.
Oh, that is cool.
It's really, you think it's fun until you try and pull into a Whole Foods parking lot in a car that only has a horizontal bar for a steering wheel.
Does the interior do anything?
No, it blinks and beeps.
By the way, did they change the ratio of the steering to accommodate that?
Oh yeah.
So-
Imagine they
because-
put like F1 car steering, 1-to-1 steering.
I don't know if you ever remember driving an 80s Firebird,
Oh
but
God. It's actually, based on the crown of the road, the bar is maybe up to a 45-degree angle.
because it's like a 35-to-1.
Yeah, it's
ratio.
not good.
Well, my dad had a 77 Fleetwood, and you had like 40 degrees of play at all times.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
It's amazing that both Fox Bodies and IROCs are now up into ironic cool, but nobody gives a fuck about those 80s Firebirds.
Oh,
Nobody cares.
kind of a shame because they were good. I mean,
They
were good for
weren't.
their time.
They weren't stereotypical enough.
Well-
Holy shit! Super Chat is blowing the fuck up.
Oh, super chat.
I didn't even plug it.
Weren't they?
Wow.
I mean, they had flaming
We'll get
chickens.
to you guys in a minute. I promise.
They're pretty stereotypical in terms of like, hey, look at me. They're
Well,
pretty
wait a minute.
aggressive.
Do you remember New
IROCs
Jersey?
actually say IROC on the side.
That's awesome. I remember looking at the analog configurators back then. I had like the book. You'd take the pages out. I'd line up the pages and do the math.
You'd rearrange
Yeah,
the
yeah.
pages,
And
and,
also-
then you'd write Alex Roy Canero. Alex
fucker.
Roy
Dude,
Canero.
I can't lie.
Alex.
Before I knew anything about cars, I kind of wanted an IROC.
I wanted one in period. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
I remember configuring analog style the second gen RX-7 because there was the RX-7, like the middle model.
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
then the turbo.
Right.
And I was like, I'll get the middle one. I want to get too far. Like I don't want to have too much.
In
you know?
hindsight, that 250 horsepower would have been woo or whatever it was. I just saw it. Someone actually I saw on the way to HRE Open House on Saturday. Some really neat cars down there. Someone had one of those second gen RX-7s. It was wide bodied, sort of like my Mustang is wide bodied, the same kind of way. Black like basket weave HRE wheels. And I said it was a convertible, right? It was a convertible. So it was wide body convertible. It was like low and wide. It was real nice. And I followed it for a little bit, and then I saw it, the smoke from the exhaust. And it didn't blow up. It continued on, but it was a smoky little rotary.
Have you ever seen? There's a guy with a white Vector somewhere on the west side. Have you seen? I seen him on the 10 like every 6 months in the middle of the night.
First gen Vector, a W8.
Yeah, W8, but it functioning under its own power.
Well, that Jerry Wiegert, the Vector
He's
guy,
alive.
He not only is alive, he comes to all the cars and coffees.
I mean, that might be him, don't you
and
think?
brings. I don't think that's his car though. The one he had last I checked, he has a car called the WX3, which was the second gen bodywork, but with the first gen powertrain. It was actually the prototype for the second gen. They ended up not making and stuffing a Diablo underneath the bodywork.
Wow.
But so this one actually has the stupid bench seat and the 3-speed automatic and the Toronado drivetrain, but it looks like the second gen one. It's the only one.
Have you spoken to him?
I have spoken to him, yeah.
Has he been on the show?
No, I haven't invited.
I would do a pay-per-view event. Smoking Tire pay-per-view. Talking to him, man. I would pay $100.
Sunday.
It's going to be awesome.
I think I just violated someone's trademark by doing that.
Please do it.
And next time I see him at a show, I promise I will ask him to come on. He wasn't. Holy shit! Did Freddie just give us $100? Was that you? Is that really Freddie?
That's Freddie again.
Freddie said, "Well, he's balling right now." Freddie's fucking.
He shows up, makes it rain.
Freddie
on us.
Hernandez fucking is making it rain right
Freddie.
now.
Wait. People
What?
can send money?
I don't understand this.
You can ask a question and send money to ask a question, or you can just send money to send money. Freddie just sent money.
Are you a nonprofit?
No, we're a profit.
What kind of racket is going on here?
This is the thing. I'm hoping this super chat feature to be more interactive will eliminate
That's
advertising
amazing.
on the show.
YouTube invented this.
Oh man, there's some good questions.
This is
here,
a
too.
built-in YouTube feature.
The pay per question?
Yeah, or just donate to a live show.
Hey, just
What would someone like
hand it over? Just give me a couple of bucks.
me not to do?
Don't get us thrown off of YouTube. Let's go to a couple of them. Let's just start at the top. On my Safari 911, am I going period correct with dinner plate size rally lamps in a hood pod or full brodozer with the LED light bar? No. Vintage hood pod, just like the other Safari cars have. Porsche question, again, supercharged 996, 997, or a high mile R8.
Well, you only sent $2, so you
Wait a minute.
Send more.
Wait a minute. I had this R8
Send-
conversation with somebody. I mean, those early R8s with the
4.2?
Yeah, 4.2
No, no,
R8s with the
6-speed.
stick in the in the sort of Ferrari
yeah.
like.
2 manual.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're
with-
nice, but
with the-
those engines have a tendency to explode, though.
How many? Yeah, high mile. How many miles?
A
is
high mile 4.2 FSI is every mechanic's dream.
Every mechanic's dream.
Freddie knows about them engines. Freddie, if he's still on the stream, and put him in the. He doesn't have to give any more money. In the regular comments, say what you think about a high mile 4.2 FSI engine.
Freddie?
It's not good. It won't be good.
So it's
seems
nine,
like-
we're going
I'd
with
go
997.
997.
Yeah,
I would get a 997. I'd get the nicest, cleanest one of those you could find. That's pretty much what I
pretty
do.
good bargain right now.
Yeah. Is anything? Let's continue. Is there more? Thanks for the new TTRS. I drove that in Drive Season 4 National
Yeah.
Parks episode.
Yep.
It's really fast. And what's the APR Stage 1?
Oh, they run
tune?
like low 10s.
Relow 10s,
Yeah.
and then
They
they
did
did.
an
Joe,
RS3.
APR did a RS3, which is the same as TCRS. They did their it's the stock turbo. It was like intake, downpipe, intercooler, tune, drag radials, and he ran in the 9s.
Oh my God.
Crazy.
That's insane.
I think he might have taken out the interior too.
So a little bit
To
later.
credit, I think he took the interior out, but still, he got a mostly stock Audi sedan in the fucking 9s.
They they field like a Continental tire car or some shit like in the GT racing
Yeah.
with RS3. They also Dynan has moved into APR's headquarters now.
Oh, yeah,
so that
Dynan
is
and
like
APR are
truly the
like
Death
this
Star of
now.
speed.
So wait, this is interesting. What was the transmission that everybody was using in the APR Golfs? They
Yeah.
were using the old TTRS.
The TTRS
transmission.
gearboxes is what the
'Cause they're
high-powered
really stout,
car. Yeah,
right?
that's
Is
what
that
the
the deal?
high-powered ones use. Yeah,
Yeah.
they're that's what
Was
they.
it ZF8?
No. The dual clutch out of the TTRS.
That was it. Yeah.
Oh,
into like when HPA and those guys who build the really fast Volkswagens, they upgrade the regular Golf dual clutch, the TTRS dual clutch.
Gotcha.
Stronger.
You drove the
Gotcha.
HPA one. That's the Canadian.
The psycho
right?
Canadian
Yeah,
guys.
yeah.
Yeah, they have a 750 horsepower all-wheel drive Golf that was like insano, and I drove a 600 horsepower EOS they built that was
Come on.
so yeah, it was awesome. Dual clutch. It was dual clutch all-wheel drive 600 horsepower legit. It was a VR6 engine with a big single turbo on it.
Did they
and-
leave the roof?
Yeah. It looked stock, dude.
That's crazy.
No, it did. That's a lie. It didn't look stock. They put a Scirocco front clip on it, but voluntarily. Like you could they have a customer, they said, that has a bone stock looking, quiet, you'd never know, mega sleeper 600 horsepower EOS in Canada.
That's
It'd be
only
if you had fuck
All
you
these
money.
Canadians build these crazy sleepers. The guy with that stupid Golf that was like 750 horsepower, he was apparently a foreman at a construction. What the fuck was that?
Me.
Was that you? I thought it was Charlie.
Is that a snore?
I just came off a plane.
Was that Zool? Like,
Are you an ogre waking in a cave?
Sorry, guys.
I don't know.
Trying to.
That guy was a foreman at a construction site and wanted to keep it.
Is it because
DL.
the police are so crazy in Canada?
I think they're just very modest people.
Canadian modesty at work. Well, an EOS. If you're building a fucking EOS, that's
Yeah.
it's either modesty or something else.
But nobody wakes up. No one is like a kid and says, "Someday, gonna mod an EOS."
I'm
Yeah.
going 800 horsepower.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a very adult thing to do.
Is the TTRS better than the RS3?
They're the same car. One has 2 seats, one has 4.
That's it.
Pick your flavor.
So around the track, TTRS maybe a little faster, everything else.
Yeah, but
same.
it's basically the same. Yeah.
One of them is for incels. The other one.
The TTRS. The TTRS is really expensive.
package.
Which one?
It's like
I don't know, 56 grand.
I
or
think
something
it's
like
a
that.
lot. I think the TTRS is a lot more than the RS3.
More than the RS3
Yeah.
and not as practical, of course.
Yeah.
Did you guys just
Freddie
have a real
got back.
conversation?
Yes.
Yeah, we just put you to side. We ignored you. Where were you?
Freddie said 4.2 FSI ain't that bad.
Oh,
just has
okay.
some
There you
carbon
go.
buildup problems, not any less reliable than anything else. Just sat in one this morning.
Says the guy with time
All
to
right.
kill, cash to burn, living in Florida with a garage and a lot of space.
Says the guy who repaired a Lamborghini that caught on fire, made his own turbo kit, and he's like, 4.2's not bad.
Yeah,
If that thing actually works, I promise Freddie, there's not a lot of things I'll go to Florida for, but if that car works properly,
He
at
definitely
some point,
won't go
I
to
will.
I've watched,
Florida.
he's driven it around. I've watched the videos.
I just went to Florida for a bachelor party in Miami. Like the whole thing went badly.
Where in Florida is Freddie? Freddie, I'm
Gulf
asking
Coast,
you like
isn't he?
you're
I
the
think
camera.
he's Sarasota or something. He's like Gulf Coast.
Sarasota,
dude, I
Gulf
think.
Coast?
Yeah, I think he is.
Naples?
Not Miami. It's like there's Miami and then anywhere else. That's pretty much Florida.
I like this second. I like that one, but we
There's
don't have
cocaine
to get to
Florida
that
and there's
later.
OxyContin Florida.
Have we
That's
thought?
kinda-
Have we
that's
thought
your
about
region.
buying a smart car or Scion IQ with a Hayabusa? No.
Yes!
I'm sorry. No.
Why? Why not? Wishbone, you're absolutely
you
correct.
pay for it, Spinelli.
You know what? I've been looking for something to do, and I think that might be where this is going to go.
Can you imagine twin turbo Busa engine in a wheelbase that short?
Well,
would
actually, no.
be-
The IQ I wouldn't do because the wheelbase is too damn short. It's too wide.
You're right. The smart car is
Yeah.
a long wheelbase
No,
version.
it is.
LWB.
No, but literally, I'll bet you if you look at the if you look at the mathematics, if you look at the
God.
geometry of it, the smart car is actually the better choice.
Better, yes, but between two, which how
It's
warm
like-
is the shit you want?
It's like driving an H, the letter H around is the IQ because it's like stupid square.
right.
And the
It's
IQ
shit,
is
dude.
I mean,
Why-
and
why
the,
even rationalize
I don't know.
this?
Let's go. Let's move on.
That engine should go in something else.
Spending way too much time.
Dude, all those things sound fun, but that's like a mighty car mods thing. Like I
that is
I don't know
kind of
about
their
you
thing.
guys, but I'm pretty much over projects.
Oh, today we're putting a jet engine in a canoe.
Speaking of fast tuner cars, though, I saw Alex Bernstein at the track today with that 135. It was mobbing
Real quick.
Yeah, he was very fast.
He keeps tweaking it. He's
Yeah.
going for sub twos at.
He was going
Bunwell.
fast, but he had some weird experience where he bought a set of tires that, like, he is convinced that the tires are stamped like 245s, but they're really actually 275s. Like, the tire
Oh, weird.
is
You could
exactly
use-
the same
you
as
could
the
use
tire
a
before
ruler.
it, but like it just doesn't
fit.
Yeah, it's
Weird.
weird. Yeah, it's super
What,
weird.
what brand?
I don't remember.
Okay.
I'll circle back on it later. But it was like
Fascinating.
it was really weird. Like, I don't know. That was happening today.
I have to put some. There's
Wait, this one.
Well, we could talk about what
Legend
I did.
has it you flooded a floor in Germany. In a hotel?
Yeah, we could. You know the story.
Yeah.
But before we even address that, if you want to, I can't help but notice that people. There's guys coming in paying $20.
Yeah.
And I just want to point out, I was just in Israel, and Uber like doesn't really function there, and I use Get. You know the Get app?
No, I don't.
And something. So I'm like, oh, Get. It's an Israeli company. It's like Uber. It's great. I need to get a taxi, and I see 50 cars go by that say Get on it. So I'm like, oh, there must be cars everywhere, and I'm like, I need a car, and no cars available, even though I can see them cruising around. So I stop a local. I'm like, how come there's no cars? I can see them. He's like, special functionality in Israel. You have to enter your tip amount
Beforehand?
and then they have their minimum tip threshold, and they filter out anybody who puts less than like 15%.
Wow.
Yeah, so I'm staying there for like an hour and there's no car.
Oh my
Because
god.
you're a cheap fuck. That's
They're all
why.
going by
Yeah, so
empty.
you should just
That's kinda
ignore
brilliant.
everybody who spends less than $20 to talk to you.
I hope we get to a point where I can, but right now is not that day.
We don't wanna set a
We don't
minimum.
have to we don't have to make this a full Q&A show. That'll be there.
But wait a minute. You know what? That's interesting. You could do literally a Dutch auction show.
I mean, look, ideally we get somewhere where if you give any donation, we'll shout you out, and if you give over a certain amount, we'll have a debate about whatever it is that you want to talk about.
Great.
I hope it doesn't. We don't want to turn the whole show into the Q&A show.
Because you want to democratize this because you're a man of the people.
Well, look, it's good for discussion. It's nice to have. It's good for that people that are watching live get to interact. It's so far as it's not like we're not replacing ads yet, but like it's not nothing in terms of financials. And I don't have to ask for it. It's just there. It's built
So
in.
you don't like having ads because you don't want to be beholden to brands?
Not necessarily. I want to do whatever makes the audience happier. We need to earn a living to do a show, and so we're going to have to either have ads or have some type of crowdfunding. And I don't want to do a Patreon because you have to do ads for your Patreon. But if this self-perpetuates and we don't have to do ads, that it exists and it just is a function of the show that it's interactive, that's cool.
I want to just say that I hope you always have a place for an ad, because what you do to ads is delightful.
Is what you do to bathrooms.
It's what I did to the floor in that hotel
you did
in
to the
Spain. It wasn't Germany, it was Spain. But
What happened to the hotel?
in Spain.
Wait. Alex
Spinelli, what happened to the
Alex-
What
Can I
did
tell the
Alex
story?
do?
Alex is well. Let's not say what it's connected to, but Alex had a suit that was wrinkled, and so Alex wanted. And Alex did what
That
I
sounds
normally
like
do.
every day.
When I
That
have a
sounds
suit
like
that's
Wednesday.
wrinkled, you hang it up near the bathroom. You turn the hot water on all the way up.
Yeah.
And
To be clear, I'm on the third. There's a bunch of us, Spinelli and a bunch of people we all know, all staying in a hotel.
I wasn't there.
Whatever. I'm on the third floor, and other people are on lower floors. And I'm steaming my cheap suit from H&M that I got because Farrell used the old suit as like a rag at Pebble Beach like a few weeks earlier.
Did I?
no, you
Yes.
fell
What
off
did I
a
do?
wall and bled
That
on
was
it.
the prior year. Every year I wreck a white suit from H&M, and Farrah used one of those jackets as a rag. So I got another one. It's wrinkled. I'm in Spain, the hotel, and I'm steaming it, and then I forget about it. And then I wake up and I put my foot in the floor of the room, and there's like 2 inches of water. So I open the bathroom door, like 3 more inches of water. So I turn the water, I book out.
The door really does hold up a bunch more water than you think
Spanish
it's going to, doesn't
architecture.
it?
So I go downstairs to the lobby, and there's like 10 people down there who, on the second floor and the lower floors whose rooms are flooded. So I informed the rest of the production team to now it's like midnight. Everyone has to pack their bags, prepare to leave the hotel because I don't want to get stuck with a bill. And so, they wanted us to. They didn't want us to leave. They wanted me to sign a document taking responsibility. So I told everyone in the team, load the vehicles,
Load the chopper.
meet me in the garage. The next morning we booked out of there. There was a lot of damage. Dude. I mean, it was a lot of damage. Yeah.
Oh, no.
So, but
Alex.
Yep, I
Good
think
times.
I buy every fucking word of that. That sounds.
Didn't like a scarf fall off the hanger
Exactly.
and land in the bathtub and like that plugged it up or something like
yeah.
that?
They claimed. They actually
I think
claimed that I
somebody made
clogged
that
it.
up, but it's perfect.
I'm like, look at my hair, like my body.
Eventually,
look at
what
my
happened to
body.
JF's credit card?
JF wasn't involved in that shoot.
Oh, he wasn't?
No.
Oh,
No.
man.
No.
That would have made it a lot more
so
fun.
I gave them Amel's card. It was all good.
Wait a minute, we can talk
that's
about
what we need to talk
Hey,
about.
yo.
The original team gets to talk about the fact that our old boss is going to prison.
I want to
how
take credit.
nice.
I want to take credit for there was a day 6-7 years ago where we were all in a hotel conference room in Midtown Manhattan.
Oh, my God. Where you give the
And-
greatest speech of all time?
I mean, just by the way, I had, even if he had been the best investor of all time, I had to give that speech because I was so fucked up and high and drunk. Like, I could not have worked for that company. I'm proud to say I was the first guy to march out of there.
You did.
And say, fuck this.
That was very good.
Look where I am today.
Yeah. Well, you're not fucking doing 51 months.
Yeah, that's right.
That's
Yeah.
what's up. Man.
Yeah.
What a shitbag.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really nice.
It was really great. The comments when the story broke were people going, "Oh, how'd you guys make these shows for so little money?" Like all the people that thought we were all rich
Yeah.
and doing
Yeah, I
Drive
know,
Plus
it's
like
really-
assholes.
it's
It all
really-
came full circle.
It's funny how it took that for them to think that we didn't get completely loaded.
They didn't
off of
believe
this
us
thing.
at all.
Yeah.
I mean, because nobody, you guys obviously
Much easier to believe that JF ran out.
that depreciated Jag didn't by itself.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's he really took a lot of fucking money.
I was a hell
Oh,
of a
and
thing.
51 months on only one count. How many counts did he skip out on by pleading guilty? A lot, right?
Lot.
All the identity theft
originally
was
there was
gone.
Yeah, there
Yeah.
was
What's
other
funny
stuff.
is if you look at the comments on any media running the story of his conviction and sentencing, there are people I've never heard of like, he fucked me too. Like, where were you?
Yeah, can we? You almost want to have like a
like a party.
Yeah, prison
Support group.
Like, is there cake batter that you can get that actually looks good but tastes like poo? Can you get things like that?
I can make it.
There should be a novelty shop that has
I mean, I'm
that.
sure there is. Is it a crime to send a poo flavored cake to somebody?
Is it true that he's going to like one of these like vacation
Probably.
facilities?
Here's what's fucking crazy. He doesn't turn himself into September 1st.
So-
he gets to have a summer in the Hamptons.
Wow. And meanwhile, some fucking guy smoking a pot in like the street. Like,
Bro, they'll shoot you for
Yeah.
fucking. They'll strangle
Yeah.
you to death for selling loose cigarettes
Yeah.
in fucking New York. You get to have a summer in the Hamptons. And you steal $8 million.
You got to steal big.
You gotta steal
That's the
big.
thing.
That's the
Yeah,
moral,
white
right?
collar
If you're
crime.
going to steal,
You
you got to steal a lot.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And
so,
be
Collusion,
white.
baby.
Be a white person.
well,
Collusion
yeah.
pays.
So, well, wait a minute. What the thing that always got me was like, and again, like I don't know, there might be money somewhere stashed away somewhere, or there might not be, and I'm sure that
I think he spent it all.
The last thing was he had I read somewhere he had $500K. He was going to give the government, but he gave it to his dad. He gave it to his dad
to hold on to?
Yeah, and now the government wants that because apparently he owed his dad money. He gave his.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know.
Well, I think his dad like put the house up to bail him out. Back like
my mom,
so.
in no universe would she bail me out if I pulled that shit.
You stole $8 million.
Yeah, she'd be like, "Yeah, fucking can't." I'm here. No.
There was the bets. The bets are piling up about what will happen. There's Ferretti thinks he's going to skip town. He thinks he's going to. He thinks he's going to be gone. He's never going to.
Well, that depends on whether he has the money stashed somewhere where he could spend it. Because without it, there's
did
nothing.
not strike me as a saver. Did he strike you as much of a saver?
No.
With the
the secret Ferrari,
the secret Ferrari,
duplicate Ferrari.
The best,
Oh my
the best
God.
thing that ever
the
happened.
secret fucking Ferrari.
The secret
I mean, if he
Ferrari.
Who
was
has
smart.
extra Ferraris?
If he was smart, he would have entered the supercar business. I mean, actually launched a supercar company.
Oh, my
'cause
God.
You could claim anything, and if you're lucky, you end up. Well, if you're unlucky, you're Yua Gambala.
Oh shit! It's you're Aloha Roof. Yeah. If it's bad, you're Uigamala. Two ends of the same spectrum. Jesus fucking Christ. God, I really he's gotta do like at least 2 years of that. I gotta know he fucked me twice. The second one obviously was my fault.
Was that the fool you? Wait a minute.
Fool me
me
once.
once, and they fooled like.
Fool me twice.
That's-
anal rinsing. Fuck. And he had that. He had the
Shame
worst
on
tell
him.
ever. Remember the when he was like,
Oh, the da, 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 da,
yeah. The worst.
Having to pay back $7.5 million. That
It was
is a
never gonna
big
happen.
Deal. Right, that's the thing.
Never gonna happen.
Even if the
Unless
mon-
he gets into the luxury goods blockchain business.
very good point.
Yeah, because there's some blockchains.
You know what,
I don't want
though?
to name any names.
I was talking to someone. I was like, it was like, wait till we start seeing people committing like crypto crimes or whatever the fuck it is. It's gonna be like power theft. It's gonna be like power utility theft or some crazy ring of power theft.
Yeah,
right.
Something crazy. Well, I mean, it depends on what you can. God, this is when my like the minuscule amount of blockchain shit that I knew just
gone.
flushed out. It's like no, but
it's a distributed ledger.
I
dude.
know when you get to the when it's a distributed ledger. So when the ledger is I think the problem is that it's going to take a really long time to bring blockchain to like mission critical shit. Like
who asked you to explain it? What do you know?
when it comes,
Great point.
The key statistic was reported that in California, it's like the power usage is up like 80,000% year over
The
year.
other statistic is that 90% of people who talk about it are complete idiots.
I'm not buying any. I've had multiple pitches thrown at me.
I have
to be paid
some.
for things.
I
in
have some.
crazy currencies that don't really exist.
I bought some Ethereum and I bought.
Did you?
How'd it go?
Did you?
It went bad, but it didn't go too bad. Like it went real bad and then it came back.
I have a great
And then
rule about crypto and blockchain. My brother's a real music snob, and I'm always asking him about underground bands. So I'm like, dude, I heard this band, Japanther, is really great. Are they awesome? He's like, they were until you asked me.
And that's there you go.
perfect.
Yeah,
music
that's
snob.
crypto
That's the perfect
blockchain
music
shit
snob.
by dockless scooter sharing, whatever.
Look, the guy who was gonna make $80 million already made it,
Yeah.
and everyone else can
Yeah.
have some little scraps.
Yeah.
People
He
say
made-
like you want to sell when your grandma's hairdresser asks you about it. So
Yeah.
whatever stock it may be, it's like that's probably when it's peaking.
Yeah.
You know?
Except that it's not supposed to be a stock. It's
No,
supposed
no.
to be no.
I meant investment,
but,
whatever
No,
it may
you're
be.
absolutely right. And because you're so fucking right is the reason why we should just ignore this for the next 20 years because it's not going to be anything unless we're really going to start learning the code that will create the next generation of blockchain and things. We should just ignore
you wanna
the
get rich?
Asterisk,
Here's what you
asterisk,
should buy.
This is not financial advice. Prior comments should not be taken as future.
Buy properties in California that are about 20 to 30 feet above the current sea level.
Exactly, yes.
That's what I recommend
They're way better
for a buy and hold.
Is that Malibu coin?
Oh, wait a minute. I think Zizzle Zazzle is gonna.
dude,
I'm buying and holding
Should
that
we start
shit.
Boo Coin? B-Rad from
Yeah.
Boo.
I bet, to circle back, if Emil leaves, if he flees He'll have like an ICO up within 6 months and just make.
Here's the thing: he's real smart, right? He's a smart dude. He's always been the smartest guy in the room, and so
He certainly always wanted you to think that.
and when I say that, I mean like, yeah, I mean, maybe he's too smart by half.
He's so smart. Yes, no question.
You got caught
Does
by
he
flag.
know Kim.com?
I do.
Okay, well, if the answer is yes, he's getting the fuck out of America.
That's the thing. Maybe
Kim wouldn't touch him, man.
Really?
Kim, no
Because he's
way.
like,
Kim is smart, dude. You don't have to like him, but he's smart.
Is he still in New Zealand?
Yes.
Cool.
Yeah.
Is that guy cool?
He's a dick, but he's very likable. I mean, I could say that about a lot of people I know.
Guilty.
I'll give him credit. In 2007, when there was the gumball thing where the people got killed, and I came out, and I'm like, all these people are totally racing. They just suck at it, and they're all assholes. And everyone's like, you're ruining gumball. Kim was the only guy who stood up. He was living in Hong Kong at the time prior to fleeing the authorities. He goes on, he calls it the Herald Tribune. He's like, it's absolutely true. We were all racing. Me most of all, the winner, the best. The best. Racing always.
He had the like the CL 3000 that he drove, right?
So the guy, I actually,
he made his own
I respect him for always speaking his mind. He would never pretend to be anything other than what he is. A criminal and a genius.
That fucking that Vice video with him just driving around his property in the golf cart.
He's amazing.
That's hilarious to me.
I like him. I mean,
I'm glad that guy exists.
That's where you got to be if you do that, though. Like you got to
New
be
Zealand?
that guy. Yeah, well, I mean,
just
not
at that level.
At that
Yeah, at
level.
that level.
Yeah.
Because below that
You need to be
level,
that. It's beyond him is John McAfee. It's one.
but actually, I think
too high.
but Kim.com, like he's actually a family man, and McAfee, man,
No, McAfee's in the last 20 minutes of Scarface, right?
gotta get organized.
Fucking Brian De Palma's on this. Hang on a second, guys. Where's my linen suit? Oh man, cars.
let's see.
Car you regretted selling the most. What's the car?
Citroen SM.
Citroen. Do you regret it already?
Yes.
Oh, come
Yeah,
on.
dude.
You got a good strong number for it on Bring a Trailer.
Thanks for my friend.
Oh,
Can,
my
can I
pleasure.
just say this? You were the biggest. You tried to get everybody to drive that car. I mean, maybe it was. Were you just?
Because if you've never driven one, you can't understand
You're right.
how
That's
unique
absolutely
it
right.
is. I've driven 600 cars, 800 cars, whatever the fuck it is. There is
doesn't feel like
nothing
anything.
that drives
No, you're
like
right.
that.
You're
It's
right.
the weirdest fucking car in the world.
It yaws.
It yaws when
like-
you should have yigged. Sounded really racist. I promise it wasn't, but
I mean,
that nipple break is just.
That was fascinating.
it's like that. What's that little children's toy thing that like you have to lean and then it goes? Like it just like for some reason it starts going straight,
Yeah.
but you're going like this. That's what that car feels like to drive.
Yeah, it's like the most
That thing
French thing that there could be.
Yeah.
It seemed more different for like lifting off the throttle in a corner than anything else. It was the suspension was like hydraulics, right? So you're on throttle and it's stiff, and then if you lift, it goes.
It was hard to tell if it was
It's
broken.
like a jet ski.
Like,
Yes.
like you never. Yeah. And you were the one who said it's like a gondola with a steering wheel.
Oh yeah, it is. Yeah.
I could never tell if it was broken. Like, was that supposed to be like?
Yeah.
Imagine taking a test drive like for one of those new, like you've only ever driven like a real shitty car from the '60s, and you get in that, and you're like, what the fuck is this?
And to think that you could buy that and a Countach in the same city the same year.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
And you could also get like an Alpha Giulietta that's just a box on a box. Yeah, I regretted selling. Well, at the time, I had an Audi S4 that was actually quite lovely, and
A B4, a B5.
no 6, the
V6.
V8. It was the V8
yeah,
one,
yeah.
and I traded it for that stupid Hummer I had. I think I met you right after that
Why'd you do that?
because it was so. I was just an idiot.
Yeah,
It was,
to have a Hummer. Was it
no,
an H2?
It was a 1. I dailied an H1 in Manhattan.
Oh, that's a great story.
It was
Did
working
you,
at Gotham
did you write
Dream
that
Cars.
For,
I wrote it. Yeah, I wrote it because I traded the S4 for a Hummer and then a Hummer for a Mini in a matter of 3 months. It was it's very, very stupid.
I remember when you had the Mini because you were street parking it.
That was when I met you.
And I
think.
met this guy who was a street sweeper cleaner for the Department of sanitation.
Yeah.
And he knew who you were. You know who I'm talking about? I forget his name. He was awesome. And he would always brag. He was a car guy. He had an Evo and he drove his sweet street sweeper. And I said to him,
I kind of do remember.
yeah, and I said to him,
that.
and he's like, yeah, man. And I always sweep the street and I see Ferris' car parked.
Yeah.
And I'm like, really? What do you do? I mean, I'm like, do you call like Central Command and tell them to tow the Mini? And
That'd be fucked up.
And he's like, call Central Command at the Department of Sanitation in New York City. Are you from the future?
People spotted my cars around various places and leave notes sometimes. Occasionally they're real creepy.
Like right now,
was you with me at Grid Life? I got a great story. Remember at Grid Life when we were going to dinner? I think it was with the M3, and someone left like a real creepy note. That was like,
What'd it say?
it was real gay.
It was very like, yeah.
real gay.
I've got a story about
Physically
notes.
complimentary.
So when
Which is,
Physically complimentary.
I was very complimented, but it was really aggressive
wow.
in its nature.
So when I got the Morgan, I would park in 2011. If no one had one, I park it all over Lower Manhattan. I'd get a lot of notes.
Remember we parked in the middle of the street once? Just like left it like there was like lines to indicate a turn lane, and we parked it in between the turn lane.
Nobody cared. But I got a lot of notes, and I would, I was always hoping to be like in a girly handwriting. So I'd be really flattered. I was always hoping that they leave a number, and once or twice they did. And then, so I go to Stereo Exchange, the audio store I used to work, and I tell them, guys, you wouldn't believe this. The note I just got, there's a girl's phone number on it. And I called, nobody answered. And so for the next like 3-4 days, I got increasingly like dirty, lurid notes, and I was like, "Wow, this is really awesome!" Like, I'm gonna street park this thing, cancel the garage, street park this thing, and so I collect the notes. I go back to the store, and the guys are like, "Dude, those are from us. We've been leaving you." These like 6 dudes I knew have been leaving me all the notes for like a month.
That's great.
Where they put the heart over the eye.
Yeah, it was like, I looked at Judy Bloom covers.
So funny. Do we ever think Dick wants to know? Do we ever think the 04 to 06 GTO will become collectible? No.
No. The answer is no. And
Quick old.
but
I
I
bet
think
it will,
it's
to a
I think
few
it'll be
people.
more collectible. To your point before, than the Firebird of the
Disagree.
similar vintage sort of early.
Disagree.
No, I here's why I don't. Is that you can put Holden Monero badges on them, and it becomes a Holden.
But that's collectible to like 12
I'm
dudes
kidding.
on
Yeah,
Jalopnik.
you're right, exactly. No, of
I
course.
think
I have no
the
actual.
Firehawk is way more. The GTO,
Firehawk,
it
absolutely.
suffers from ugly.
It's-
That's-
I'm gonna admit, that's the ultimate.
Yeah.
It's
a
missing-
long term. It's got to sound good and it's got to be pretty. That's what'll do it.
It
Cadillac
needs stickers
Catera.
on the side. The car that zigs.
The car that zigs.
The caddy that
This
zigs.
is the Pontiac that zags.
These cars drive great, and they'll always be more car than you're paying for because they look like nothing.
Yep.
And there's nothing wrong with them.
nice.
Were you a
That's-
fan of the Mercour XR4 Ti?
In theory, I drove one once. What a flaming shitbox!
What about the Ford Scorpio?
Do you-
Ford Scorpio.
Wait,
Oh, that was worse. No, at least the
I think it was worse, right?
the XR4 Ti, like in period, which I guess you and I are the only people that might be able to have driven in
remember
period.
that, yeah.
And I had a friend whose dad
vibrating
had
on
one.
me, or is there an earthquake?
It's the dog.
Oh, that's the dog.
Is that Charlie?
The table's vibrating. I was like, "Are we having an earthquake?" Right now? Sorry.
Compared to, do you remember the Mustang GT 4-cylinder turbo? Not
Yes.
the SVO, the one before that.
Oh, like in '83 or something.
Yeah, there was like 83 up to maybe even up to 85. They might have, maybe
Yeah.
it's just the 84.
It's the non-intercooled.
The non-intercooled
It's the non-intercooled turbo. Yeah.
It was better than that.
the one I drove was really terrible. Like it was not.
I thought, but the Mercour was cool. I knew a guy in college who thought
So
it was
ugly.
called the Mercour Zrati.
I thought that for a while. Yeah, I
love it.
I spent a lot of my youth trying to rationalize how that was pronounced.
It's funny that you think about the guys doing the packaging, the branding. What were they thinking? So, let's call it the XR.
Yeah.
4.
So
What is it? TI. The
TI, I think, was turbocharged intercooled.
Intercooler. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that was the 80s. Everything was dead on. There was no irony. There was but you know what's crazy about this is that like all sort of people in our sphere they love to love these because they think it's a Cosworth
It's
Sierra.
as close as we ever got.
It's as close,
but
and
it's
we
just
want it
not.
so badly to be a
It's
Cosworth
just
Sierra. It's
not.
not.
Just the rear
but
wing.
we want it.
It looks
so
like
bad.
what was the 6000 SUX with 2 doors? You know, Tyler?
The Pontiac SUX.
You know?
Do they actually have a real SUX?
No, that was the RoboCop. It's
Yeah,
like you
RoboCop.
can win a 6000.
Oh yeah, it's like I'll buy that for $1.
But
I think the worst of that period was that Colt Vista wagon thing. That was like I think it was like a Mitsubishi, it was
Yeah,
a
the
Diamond
Colt.
Star thing, but
Yeah.
they didn't ever call it a Mitsubishi or a Dodge. I think they just called it a Colt Vista.
Well, Dodge. It was a Dodge Colt. So Dodge used to do the. But that's how they. Obviously, Diamond Star was how they got around
Yeah.
the chicken tax or whatever the tariffs.
Yeah.
And so Dodge
Speaking of which,
had
how
its own.
fucked are we from if Trump's stupid shit goes through?
It's not good. It's not
Oh,
good.
the tariffs.
I already ordered. My fucking guys were right. I need to order tons of steel to make seriously to build this fucking thing. And like a month ago, they were like, "Listen, people say this fucking psycho's tweets don't mean anything, but we're gonna order this steel now in case they fucking do." And guess what?
Did they order it?
Yeah, we got.
good.
Oh yeah, I got a bunch of steel coming, and they in my original contract, I was gonna have to pay them to store the steel if it was outside a certain amount of time. And I was all, what about the store? He's like, yeah, throw the storage fee out the window. So it's fine. But like, yeah, I had to buy,
Yeah.
the steel would have been 3 times the price.
3 times.
Yeah. Fuck. Anyway.
What else we got?
Nathan picked up a 2018 AMG GTS. What a shitbox. Just kidding. Sweet car. That's an awesome fucking car. A couple weeks ago, and I want to do a high-performance driving school, but so I don't look like an idiot. Good call, Nathan. Do you recommend an independent company or something like the AMG, Porsche, BMW driving schools?
I really liked the AMG school.
Didn't Zach went to
I went to
AMG
the
school
drift-
also?
You
I
went to the drift
thing.
school, but I went to
Tell us about it.
So I went to the AMG school back in
In 1964.
it was 72, and I drove the what was
We
that?
drove the
fat
red
pig?
Sow-
Red
red
pig.
Sow- red
I
Sow.
drove the red sow.
the Red Sow.
All right, autocross. No, so I mean, it was at Lime Rock, and I mean, they go through everything.
How many,
Was it
how
a-
many days was it?
I guess I did a 2 or 3 day.
Was it like I've done like Skip Barber and Bondurant and that kind of shit. Do you think with the AMG school or any of the Porsche schools that you actually get the same level of instruction that you get at a independent type school?
Really good point. I think the one good thing about AMG is the documentation that they gave was better than I've seen anywhere, right? So
Like, you mean the classroom? You mean
the documentation was
So they gave you a T-shirt, a book bag, a
Wait.
fucking kazoo.
you know, but like every they broke down every corner in like excruciating detail.
Oh, you mean like the classroom stuff?
The classroom
documentation.
stuff was
okay.
excellent.
Not,
All right, that-
not like they had a Vice film crew there to capture your experience.
They wrote down how you did.
What do you think?
You get there and you go,
great.
JF, what are you doing here? I'm here to film you.
Not the documentarians. No, sorry. So that was good. But the other thing is, like, if you're starting from zero, and I'm not assuming that Nathan's starting
You're
from
starting
zero.
from zero, and you just bought an AMG GTS.
Yeah. No, but
Sounds like everyone in Beverly Hills. Folks.
They start from getting you to get the car upset. Right,
Yeah.
so we basically start. Shut the fuck up, already. Let me finish this. This should have been a 30-second segment.
He's got a point, Alex.
They start out screwing with your head, right? So I mean, at least that not literally, but like they got us right onto the skid pad, the wet skid pad almost immediately to get the cars.
So while you're driving, they're like, have you heard of chemtrails, man?
Well, that's what with the Porsche one too. It's like they teach you more. It's like, how do you deal with a car that is oversteering or understeering
Yeah.
or sliding or whatever, versus the racing schools, which are really, how do you get around this racetrack the
Right.
fastest? And once you're there, how do you do a start? How do you do a blah, blah, blah?
Yeah.
Like, how do you actually like race? So
Yeah.
I think in my experience, and what it sounds like you is like, do you want to learn your car? Or do you want to learn like how to do racing and track days? Like,
Yeah, 100%.
You know what I mean?
100% that.
Do they like, because Bondurant, if you do Bondurant's like 3-day basic high performance driving school, like the first day is spent like braking, slalom.
Yeah.
Like you're learning how to brake and accelerate. And do they go through that kind of stuff?
Yeah, absolutely. So it's that too. And you start out learning a little bit of that, and then you go and drift it and try to drift it, right? And by trying to drift it, they don't mean like you're going to be fucking Ken Block. It's like you're going to upset the car and try to make the car do what it's not supposed to do, so that you know what it feels like to go over the line. And like it's something that like Keith Code does with those crazy motorcycle harness things that he built, right? Like they have these where you can sort of attempt you feel what it's like to do a high side,
yeah,
but you don't go all the way over.
Yikes.
Are you basically saying you should go to the school of the company whose car you just bought?
I mean, in this case,
I think honestly you should do both.
Yeah.
You should do both. You should definitely start with the company, the school of the car you just bought,
especially
and learn
a car like that, right?
because that'll make you understand how the car works on the street, and then you just go to some track days or do a school if you want to learn how to like do racing.
They may even have thrown it in for free, or if you talk like Jaguar, I think gives you free 2-day driving school when you buy.
Did
like,
they do
certain
that
models.
when Spinelli's Jaguar was new?
I don't know.
I found this certificate in the glove box. Sir, that certificate matches a car sold in 2001. Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah, I'd like to redeem. I'm going to redeem this. All right, where do we go? Where do I show up?
Costco.
Costco Park. All right. They just hired some dude. All right, just
Here's
go around
Your
this
car would
cone.
be like how to maintain lane discipline while your passenger brings you to fruition or something.
Wow,
like that.
nice fruition.
Tim,
It's a sexual reference.
I want to make
Dick
sure I get
jokes.
that question right. Can you just? I think that Matteo wants to know thoughts on the Daimler 66. Is it worth the pain? I think a Daimler 66 was the rebadged Jag XJ, which it is. Yeah, okay. I think in England, is it England? Where the fuck do they do this? It's England, right?
Yeah.
So I don't remember why, but for some
I think
reason,
he's referring to the one on the
That's
right.
amazing.
No,
Wait a minute.
no.
You're talking about
The one on the right's a Bugatti Royale.
I can't see that. Can you say?
they used the I forgot which Daimler it was that they showed at the recent royal wedding. Somebody rolled up in an
Yeah,
old
but
ass
it's like
Daimler.
old one, right?
But
Yeah.
not like a super old one, like the bigger one that looks a little bit like the Jag.
Oh, I don't remember.
But that I think this is the
Yeah, this in 79 to 92. There was a Daimler 66, which is basically a Jag XJ.
66 meaning V12.
Right. So was it like an XJ12? Was
Is
there
it
ever a
worth the
V12 in the XJ?
Yeah.
Is it worth the
There
pain?
was.
Yeah.
No, in the
XJ12.
There was an XJ12.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, cool. Sorry.
Is it worth the pain?
Not to. I would certainly wouldn't think so. Do you?
Well, that or like a BMW 850.
Oh, at 850 would at least feel fast.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
not. That's
in
going to
the
feel
Daimler,
slow.
you get all the problems of the Jaguar with none of the brand recognition.
I mean, the problem with that platform is it's hard to deal with because it's got the inboard brakes and it's got the
So it's like a Citroen SM.
I mean, it's a little bit more. So the thing that Ford did for Jag, right, was
Nothing.
No, they made a car that you can actually think about maybe working on and not wanting to kill yourself. I mean, the old Jags obviously had more style and more taste and whatever. Like,
I don't know. I think if you're going to buy an old Jag, you got to get that pillarless coupe.
Yeah,
I wouldn't get this.
God,
I'd
the
get
C
an
is
XJC.
amazing. That's my favorite.
Is it XJC?
XJC.
Is it?
Yeah, there's a C in it. The C is the
I don't want to
The
fuck
third letter.
XJC.
Give me a hand.
Yeah, that's it. XJC. Yeah.
That's the one.
That shit
yeah,
is
yeah.
so fucking
you
hot.
seen the
Harry
Harry's-
Metcalf's got
Yeah,
one. I'm
the Harry's
jealous.
Garage
Isn't that it? The
He's
blue
got
one?
a lot of stuff.
Oh yeah.
That's fucking rocking.
Speaking of Harry's Garage, did you see the one that he did before he did all the work to it, and then after he did all the work to it?
No, is it like fast now?
He tuned it. No, he got it completely dialed in, and they did. I don't know. There's an expert that Harry knows, of course, over there. The second video that he did on his C just shows how much leeway there is to slack that you could pick up in that car. by
That's the
working
kind
on
of
it.
car where you. Oh my god.
Yeah.
What a profile.
Yeah, that's
You know what's
the-
crazy is you can get about 90% of the way to that car with a Corvair.
True.
Right?
Come on.
With a couldn't you?
Yeah.
You could really achieve that same look.
Very, very, very
But I'd
similar.
rather if I was going to do a pro touring car, this would be it. LS engine, automatic, 6-speed
I mean,
automatic
the
gearbox.
profile's also a good bit of Nova.
Wait, sexy.
Have you seen the
Chevelle
John
Malibu.
Steed one, the one from the Avengers TV show that when the second when they tried to bring back the Avengers in the mid '70s?
Oh,
I was born in '82.
Oh,
All right,
yeah, you
I
were
know,
way
but I
too
was
young for this.
I know I was too young too, but I
Actually,
Oh, wait a minute.
Spinelli was 40 years old when it came out.
I was in between jobs, and no, if you look up John Steed XJC, it was based. I don't know it was based on, but it was inspired by the Walkinshaw race car.
Oh.
Look at how
Oh,
fucking
shit,
hot
that?
this is. Yes,
Whoa,
no,
wow.
it's in bad condition. No,
That's not
get an
good.
earlier
That's
one.
the
This is the one.
like in its glory.
This is yeah. That's
oh
it.
I
wow,
still
how
like-
70s.
I still
Yeah.
like the stock form better.
I don't.
That
I
front
actually
end.
don't think that really works. I think in most cases I would say yes.
Safari edition.
It almost looks like the Bentley Continental T, right?
Yes,
But
It's
not-
the
yes,
lower,
yes,
the lower
it is
grill
good.
fucks it up.
Yeah.
all right.
Is that an intercooler? What is that? Is that a grill or an intercooler?
That's interesting.
Maybe both.
Grill,
But you know the Walkinshaw race car.
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
That's
yeah.
the one. I mean, that actually looks the best. I
that
think.
it works better with the late 80s
this
than it does
this
with
photo
this one.
looks. Is there a better photo? Is there like a side?
This
shot
photo's
of
from the
it?
70s.
There
This
is-
is the
yeah.
size that photos were.
No
Wait,
way.
what's that one?
There's a better.
That's
Second
smaller.
from the-
All these pictures are super tiny. It looks
not
better when
bad.
it's actually moving. It looks like a rally car, actually.
Wait, what about-
It's pretty aggressive.
Yeah, I guess
But
that's
it's
aggressive,
not.
but-
It's not the most complimentary kit to the shape of car.
Oh, and I don't like the white walls.
the
Is that
lines
white wall? Oh, no.
lines get a little wet one.
Yeah, it's got such nice svelte lines before.
Yeah.
Now it's
Oh,
just
right.
like
Yeah.
No, you're right. Actually, it's. I still like the other one.
You'd want to like pull a V8
Wait,
Vantage engine
just
out or something.
pull up the race car. Pull up XJ.
boy.
What's the second one?
It's
What's
a
the
radio
second
show. We
picture?
don't just look at pictures
What's the
all day.
second
All right,
picture?
you're right.
We have
Wait, are we
established-
not showing the pictures?
yeah.
Oh
We are.
boy!
All right, cool.
For the audience
I,
that watches.
I demand you close this tab.
All right. Sorry, we don't want to go down the
It's
Jag.
like a- yeah.
the Jag
Even
wall.
with pictures, this wasn't going anywhere good.
Okay.
Oh, John from Adventure Drive 04 with the Noble. This guy's got a Noble fucking boss.
cool.
I've been making YouTube videos lately, and I believe my last few are actually watchable. Any ideas for promoting a new YouTube channel?
Well, you just spent $10 and did a pretty good job of
There
it.
you go.
But no one knows what
But you
the
didn't
channel
put your
is.
YouTube channel in.
For $100
No,
bucks,
I
we'll
would've
keep
plugged
talking.
Wouldn't it be the platinum?
Is that what it is?
Platinum OG.
The Platinum OG?
Sorry, OG. Yeah, I'm.
Take a
1,000
guess.
years old.
Try youtube.com/that and see
Platinum
if that
OG.
gets you to a channel. It might be youtube.com/the Platinum OG if you want to see some videos with this dude and his Noble. There it is. Zach, how are you like doing one takes?
Super fun. It's really fun.
It is fun.
That's about it's just funny when I edit, 4 from the first day, and I'm like, I'm awkward, way more awkward than the third day, but those are still going out there.
Oh, yeah.
People are like, you still suck. I'm like, this is from the same day.
That's the hardest
but
part.
for them, it's like, you've been doing this a month.
In the beginning,
that's
in the
true,
beginning,
yeah.
like I'd have like an audio fuck up and I'll fix it, but I shot 6 videos that have this weird audio setting, and it's like, they're like, we told you your audio is fucked. It's like, I know. There's
You
still-
notice I was wearing the same
still
shirt.
the same day.
There you go. Very
Same
good point.
outfit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Focusing on the positive. Kenny Herman. Is that Kenny Herman?
Oh
Kenny
my
Herman?
God, Kenny Herman.
From Slice, who just raised
Kenny
$100 million to sell pizza. My favorite drive moment was, I don't know.
What's your favorite?
When you
drive
left
moment?
to found a pizza company, you raised $100 million, and I didn't go with you.
Yeah. Favorite
He
drive-
was the first guy to meet Emil and say, "I'm out of here." Actually,
he
because he
might have
left
been.
like 5 years earlier.
He left right then. Yeah. Let's see. Favorite moment
drive
from
moment.
Drive. I enjoyed driving around Iceland very much.
Oh yeah.
Let's see.
Does that
Visiting the
also
cocaine lords in El Salvador for me.
Driving the racetrack in the Monaco circuit was fun.
Oh.
With the doors open in the SLS Black Series. That was pretty fun.
Riding in the truck bed while Harris slid the Raptor in
That was
Iceland.
fun.
That was hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a bunch. What else is National? Oh,
What do we do?
I enjoyed someone asked me yesterday if the jet thing was real. The fighter jets thing.
Oh yeah, that was
yes,
a
it
good
is.
moment.
That is real. That was fun.
Yeah. What about the old series? The old
I gotta say, my
videos?
favorite moment. I don't know
The
if
web series?
it was
Web
Drive or
series.
not. It was something you said. Where I think we're walking through the New York Auto Show, and the Corvette guy said, "This is my favorite all-time quote from all automotive content in the history of all automotive content."
Whatever it is, I don't remember it.
We're passing the Chevy booth, and somebody's like, "And the new Corvette is 37% stiffer than the last one." Farrah's like, "Well, by that standard, the first generation was made of Legos."
Yeah. I was really mean to people at auto
Yeah,
shows for a couple of years. I kind of stopped that. I heard some people today at the track being mean about other people's cars. It was really funny to listen to, and I'm glad it wasn't me. I had a fucking shitty day at the track. I made a little bit of contact with another car for the first time ever in 10 years.
No.
Yep. Open passing. There's 3 cars on their out lap, just warming up, going real slow. The 2 cars, open passing, no point by record. The 2 cars in back gave me a point by, and they are all 3 going slow. And I went to go around the 2, and I went to squirt around all 3 because the front car, which was not giving me a point by, was really staying wide on the corner entry. And I went to squirt through, and he just turned right down, and we basically my wheel touched, I wheel rashed his fender by football size, and I took some of the black paint off my wheel. It was really as not bad as it could be. It was literally
the fact it's only wheel on your wow.
Only the wheel was damaged on mine, and I literally ran the next session. I didn't keep me from running at all, and I put a football sized wheel bang into his right in front of his thing. It was. I mean, and we talked. We talked it out, and
you shit your pants a little bit.
It was.
What was he driving?
S2000, and it wasn't his. He was driving someone else's S2000, and I'm driving someone else's car. I haven't even called Lotus yet, but it's not. I mean, I ran the rest of the day. It's wheel. They're gonna have to refinish a wheel, but that feels super shitty. And if it was just 2 random people at a track day, that would have been chalked up to racing incident. Because I offered to pay for his car.
The whole car?
Yeah, no, just for his fucking fender.
You. Yeah.
Yeah, no, because I don't want this guy going, Matt Farah hit me at the racetrack and then didn't pay for it. I don't need that kind of a fucking headache. Right. I'll spend $1,000.
Like the time I crashed the other guy's Lamborghini, and I got out of the car and said, "I'll pay for it."
Did you?
I did pay.
Did you?
Not all of it. He gave me a deal. But there's not a deal.
Crashing someone else's Lamborghini.
Yeah, it's not what you want.
No,
it's not what you want.
And it was super shitty. I did not enjoy that experience in the very least. And I've you go to the drivers' meetings, and it's like being on a fucking plane. You only half pay attention. I'm not saying I wasn't paying attention to the driving meeting. I'm saying you hear every single drivers' meeting. You hear open passing does not mean the guy you're overtaking fucking sees you. That's, you know what I mean? And I assumed that someone saw me that didn't see me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He was driving like he saw me, but that wasn't because he saw me.
When you say it's like being on a plane, are you referring to people in the exit row who don't listen to the instructions to save 300 lives?
Yes.
Is that what you mean?
Wait a minute, but they have to say yes.
But I think there should be a law that you need to be able-bodied to sit in the exit row.
There is a law.
There is a law.
Yeah,
What the hell are you
No,
really?
no.
Because I've seen.
I don't know if it's a law, but it's
I've
certainly
seen
a rule.
old ladies and large men who are elderly who would block the passage and kill everyone trying to get
In
out.
theory, you are supposed to. You have to check a window pops up when you book it on Delta that you're able to assist
you
in the
able?
thing. Yeah, and if you're not, they move you to a different row.
Well,
They ask
the people
you
I've
they're
seen,
doing-
it's whatever. They were just human, roadblocks.
The fault, though, is that they're asking the person sitting there to voluntarily say, "I can't handle this." And I think we know from old people driving. We were at a shoot 3 days ago, and this lady drove up in a banged up Passat and asked JF some question and then left. And then 10 minutes later, she drove up and she asked our security guard the same question. And she was 80 years old, and JF's like, "Yeah, no, she's senile. She's way too old."
And then
to
she
drive a car."
went, and then she shot
came back
the
a
next
third
episode
time.
of Head to Head.
That's very funny. That's really funny. So anyway, it felt super shitty to make contact with another car on track. I mean, it's been 10 years and that hasn't happened. So I figured 1 out of 10, and it was literally it wasn't even a crash. It was just a brush, but car on car, a brush isn't pretty, but. Shout out to these dudes from Paradise Chevrolet who I was pitted next to, who literally hand checked my alignment afterwards, and it was ace. They aced it. It was
Lotus
great.
durability.
It was great. And before I rubbed the other car, I ran a 25 at Streets, which is pretty strong. That's like, I think I ran a 26 in Cayman GT4, so it's actually a little quicker than Cayman GT4.
I'm really impressed with this thing. I mean, I know you're going to probably talk about it in a full show, right? I mean, because you've been going around
talking
from track to
more about
track.
it.
What is it?
It's an Evora 400. That's cool. It's a fucking great car.
The John Player Special Edition?
No, the 410 I got was yeah. No, this one's just silver. But I've been so far to 4 racetracks and the HRE open house, and I've driven a full lap of California from literally San Francisco to San Diego, and I have not seen another one.
And
not one.
Well, how much is the car?
As tested, it's like 112.
Ooh.
It's like a 10.
That's what I said.
107
But when you think
base.
about it, right? It's. I mean, if it can really.
No, I think you're thinking that that was high.
minute, were you
He's
saying
thinking
low?
that was low.
I think it's reasonable. I mean,
it's reasonable.
So
it's
I'm
an
still
exotic.
asking.
I mean,
It's reasonable.
No one's got
It's
one.
reasonable.
It's
Yeah.
exotic.
I've seen 10,000 Carrera S's
Right.
in the time I've had this
There
car.
you go.
Were you really thinking? Would you really
for what it is? How
gasp
much horsepower does it
because-
make?
400 horsepower.
Yeah.
It's like 320 torque. It
I think
weighs
looks
3,000
interesting.
pounds.
It does.
It's quick and handles well. It's got Toyota.
You're right.
reliability,
It's just
really
and I
you
think
can
it's unique.
beat the snot out of it, and it couldn't possibly care less.
Yeah, I forgot though that the original was what 89, right? Or something like that. Mid.
What are you talking about?
Evora?
The original
No.
Evora, wasn't it? Or 70? Was it in the 70s or 80s?
You're thinking of the Europa.
There was a Europa.
No. The Evora, the first Evora, the one with the. Why was it always that high?
What are you talking about?
The first Evora. No, I'm talking about not when I say first Evora. I mean
you're talking about. He's talking about prices,
What
not
are you
years.
talking about?
Oh.
Oh no!
Yeah, the regular
80, like $1,000. Was it
Yes,
$89,000?
yeah. But there was that was a long time ago.
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
like 10 years ago. It was like 06, 07, right?
Jesus, has that already
Yeah.
10 years?
Yeah, and B, that car was not nearly as good as this car.
Right,
This
and
car
that's I
is
get it. Yeah,
is
yeah, I
a
get
way better car. It's a lot more carbon fiber. The engine's way more powerful.
yeah.
It's a
Not an
different
adjustable
gearbox.
suspension, though.
No, you don't need it.
Is
It's
it comfortable?
great. Yeah.
So,
Dude, it has really nice. The way it's set up with double wishbone and everything, like it rides beautifully, and then you can go to the racetrack. And you don't have to do anything. You drop the tire pressure by 7. That's it. It's so easy.
So GT4 or 911 GTS or that?
The 911 GTS I drove was a lot more expensive.
Yeah, that's.
I guess that's
it's-
120.
I don't even know if you can
plus.
get a GTS under like
That's right,
125.
Yeah, okay.
So, I mean, to me, that's the
So
thing. It's got a lot
so
of
it would be a
performance to
Carrera
it.
S.
It's unique looking. It's got a bunch of those things that
Well,
all.
as soon as you say
coincide.
unique looking, you take all 911s
All
off.
911s.
That's what.
Yeah,
that-
yeah.
that's-
And they're
I
awesome.
totally agree.
Yeah, it's like
They're
those-
phenomenal cars, but I think 991, 997, 996 from the profile, like we all know, it's like basically the same thing. And once they age 2 years, you could ask most people on the street, go, "Hey, what year is that?" And they're gonna go,
Go buy a
you know?
993.
So
It's
actually, it's
nondescript.
really its own. It's sort of like
It's
where
the best
that,
car out there if
the
you don't want a
Alpha-
911.
It's like where the Alpha 4C should have kind of been.
It's a better car
Oh
than
yeah,
that.
but like
a lot better.
If the Alpha 4C was 112 grand, you would expect it to be.
Where do you buy a Lotus in LA?
The dealer, I picked this up at Lotus of Orange County.
Where's that?
It's
Orange
right off
County.
the 405.
What else do they sell?
A lot. It's actually in this place, Eurocar. They're great. They're fucking great. It's a badass shop. They got a bunch. It's mostly secondhand exotics. But they have when I was just out there, 2 911Rs and a bunch of Aventadors and Ferraris and all the kind of shit. They're like cornering the market on G squareds, the big G wagons. They had 6 of them when I went down there. Yeah, they had 6 of them. Yeah, fucking place was dope actually, and they had a bunch of Lotuses too. It was cool. You can get them
I think it's a cool
serviced at
car.
Toyota dealers.
That's
interesting.
amazing.
Yeah, you can get
That's
an
pretty
an
good.
Evora service at any Toyota dealer.
Yes.
So that's cool.
Can I
Well,
help
I
you?
have a whole story coming out on that car. Now that let's see, Dante wants to know now that snow tires are not available anymore for the Porsche 996. What's a good alternative for a 4-seat sports car to daily in Minnesota? A 997.
He's like a fucking scientist over here.
To daily in Minnesota. Anything with snow tires.
Well, I mean, a 996 isn't really a great 4-seat sports car either, unless you have.
I mean, honestly, I would say
Year-olds.
get a newer Porsche. That's just what I would say. But
Get an RS3. Ooh.
if you can afford an Audi RS3,
What do you think of that? The Mission E Gran Turismo.
it looks super cool. Have you
Looks
seen
like
one?
Safari ready?
Did you see it in person?
No.
It looks awesome. I am very excited for this. What are your thoughts, Alex, on the way Elon's handling things in the last couple weeks?
That's tough, man.
Well, wait. First off, are you pro, anti, or indifferent to the success of Tesla in general? Because I've had people tell me that they have referred to you as a Tesla fanboy, and I think that's inaccurate.
I like underdogs, and all the cool cars coming out, including the Porsche Mission E, are happening because of Tesla. I mean, before Tesla showed up, where was the industry on the future of tech? Like nowhere.
Yeah.
So OTA updates, wireless updates, like we want that. We hate car dealers.
I thought there was no way that was going to happen with the fucking brakes that they could that he could. He was like, "Oh, we'll fix that over the air." I'm like, "Fuck."
Well,
no.
to be clear, the fact that they had to do that suggests there's a different problem.
Yeah.
Also, it's unclear exactly what they did. They did something to the ABS so under repeated heavy braking, which will probably have some long-term negative effects on the system itself. So wireless updates good. The fact they had to do it, not good.
Alex, can I ask you something about this though? That like the Tesla vehicle platform is much more software intense now than any other car. I mean, even the most software intense car out there doesn't have a platform that's so dependent on software to manage every one of its systems, right? So if you have an iterative software development process,
You said iterative.
yeah, where you're constantly making updates to it, and you have an ABS system, because the stopping distance, I'm starting to get over my head, but the stopping distance was not that far off of
A Ford F-150.
a Ford F-150, but it's not completely off of what a modern vehicle of the last 10 years would be, right? So it's what, 140?
What's your question?
The question is it really that big a deal that they had to update the software? And I have no horse or dog in the race of Tesla.
Well, let me say, first of all, I like the idea of Tesla. I think the cars are cool. The fact that they are like an exotic, they're badly made. Is not relevant because people who don't buy them, they buy them they buy it despite that, because this doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I'd also say, so I'm a fanboy in the sense that I love the idea of it, and the entire industry is better because Tesla exists. Tesla goes out of business, it's bad, because it means the whole industry is going to go back, oscillate back to the center, and it's going to suck. I think that most Tesla fanboys are idiots, and they will believe anything. I'll make any excuse, and it disgusts me. But I would also say that the biggest sham about talking about Tesla is asking someone who is a journalist in automotive for an opinion, because most people who claim to be journalists are not experts on electric technology or software or production. And that's where the problems are for Tesla. From a design standpoint, like conceptually what they're doing is really cool. The fact that they have problems is a business and production problem, which is for someone else to debate. Anyone who denies it is a fool. And they have financial issues, which also are outside of the scope of most people to discuss intelligently. I don't pretend to be an expert on any of those problems. But what Tesla does well, I wish we could see from other companies. And I can't wait for the Mission E.
Yeah, I think they've got some interesting ideas that other people are picking up on, but I don't think they're particularly good at building cars right now.
I don't think
are they?
anyone says they are.
Okay.
I mean, and anyone who suggests...
Do they have like a social responsibility to make people better aware of, or rename autopilot or something? Because like it really seems like there's a lot of idiots that listen to a lot of other idiots about the things that autopilot and various systems can and can't do.
That's a dangerous question to ask me, because I can give you an answer. It's 1 minute or 2 hours. So as soon as autopilot came out, I went and took flying lessons, and because I wanted to understand what autopilots do in planes. And you're into boats.
Yeah. I use autopilot
boats.
on boats all the time.
Autopilots exist for 100 years. Sperry designed it. In fact, Sperry was killed.
While on autopilot?
Mr. Sperry, who created the company, was killed allegedly testing an autopilot system. I think over the English Channel, maybe? I don't know.
Really?
And
Was he better known for his shoe?
His
He
joke
didn't
book.
also
He
invent
was
the
known
topsider?
His joke book was very... So yeah, look, an autopilot in a plane does not do 100% of the flying. It keeps it straight and level and does limited turns and allows pilots to do other things while it is on autopilot. They definitely aggressively and cynically and brilliantly call the system autopilot. In a way, it is exactly like an autopilot in a plane. The problem is that people who don't have pilot's licenses don't know what that means.
Yeah.
In a plane, there's a system called TCAS, which is Traffic Collision Avoidance System. So if you have a modern jet, commercial jet, which has an autopilot and a TCAS system, if it comes across other planes,
this
other
almost
traffic,
happened to us the other day.
Yeah, then a TCAS system, if it is directly connected to the autopilot, is capable of changing course to avoid a collision. There's various levels of TCAS, different types. So what people think an autopilot does in a Tesla is what TCAS does in some planes. So autopilots in boats and planes vary so widely that to suggest that the answer is yes, they cynically named it, and they probably should not name it that. The other problem with the prefix auto, people confuse automatic and automated with autonomous. And all those, automation and autonomy, not the same thing. So
Autonomy involves reason and decision making, right?
Yeah, I mean, the purest definition of autonomy is independence and freedom of action, even in the absence of complete information. By that definition, no car is autonomous.
Yeah.
But all cars that have windshield wipers are automated.
Yeah.
Automation is any repetitive task that's taken over by machine.
Is this the 2-hour one or the 1 minute one?
Anyway, so the answer is they probably should not use the autopilot name. Yeah, but the biggest problem isn't the name. It's the fanboys who pretend it does more than it does because they want other people to believe and drink the Kool-Aid.
Yeah.
That's the problem. Bigger problem.
But I think if you're going to sell a system like that, it's on you to. I mean, okay, the fanboys. If you're not fucking on Twitter, maybe you don't read it. But like to really fucking tamp down on that kind of stuff.
Well, the crazy thing is there's this kid, Yu, this Chinese kid.
Yeah, the guy who crashed his Model 3, right? It's like give us the backstory on this guy.
So this guy, real fanboy, but he, not stupid, very smart guy. When I tell you the story, you might disagree. So he went and got a Model 3. He bought it. He bought it like out of pocket.
Yeah.
He volunteered when like the week it came out to drive around America and give rides to people for free. And if people wanted to drive it, he charged them $10. They could drive it. This is his personal car. He claims he's not paid by Tesla, and I believe him. Mm-hmm. So on the course of his 2-month road trip around America, he had various defects, and he tweeted about them. Now all the fanboys called him a shill for big oil, and like
I hear about this. Everyone accused the new accusation is the stock manipulator, right?
Yeah. So then now here's what goes off the rails. So the guy decides he's going to take the car. He's going to ship it to Europe at his own expense and do a European Model 3 road trip because he believes in the Tesla vision. So he goes to Europe, he starts driving around, and then he heads east and Tesla claims, and he'll admit this, that the car was not homologated for Europe, and autopilot, he shouldn't use autopilot there, and that service centers
they have zero mapping data.
Yeah. So anyway, here's the thing. He did that. He booked the trip, and then before locking down his insurance, so he only had collision.
Liability.
Yeah. He didn't have collision, only liability, and so he's driving on autopilot in like Greece or Macedonia, and autopilot. He admits this. He had one hand on the wheel and one looking down, and autopilot veered right and crashed a car.
Yeah.
So he's on the hook for that car. And Tesla gave him a little bit of a runaround, said they wanted him to pay thousands of dollars. So he's debating whether or not to eat the cost of getting it to a Tesla center so Tesla could pull the data. And he tweeted at Elon Musk saying, "Hey, Elon, you need to pull the data off the car and investigate this. The car malfunctioned." So now this guy who was a fanboy and still is, he's saying, as a fanboy, I'm saying this thing has defects, and on behalf of everybody who believes the vision, should do the right thing and pull the data. And that's where it stands now.
Why? So
That
why
seems
wouldn't he
unfair,
pull?
though.
What is the problem with pulling the data? Why does that need to be a fight?
Well,
To prove that the car steered into a median? Is that what he's trying to say?
It gets complicated because it should be possible for that. Well, when you get a Tesla in the U.S., it's tethered to their whatever cell plan. I don't know if it's AT&T or Verizon, and Tesla is constantly pulling data off the cars over the cellular network. They're pulling a fraction of the data the cars collect, and we don't know what the criteria are for what data they do collect. If there's a crash, they collect what data they can if the car is not destroyed. So this car, had the U.S. data plan hardware, was in Europe, so couldn't connect cellular.
yeah.
So he offered to get it to the nearest service center, and there was a debate of who's going to pay. And he claims Tesla said they couldn't pull the data even if he got to Wi-Fi, which is weird. Doesn't make a lot of sense. So who knows the true story here? We really just don't.
So the bottom line is they told him not to use this system in Europe.
Yes.
He then used it, and it
Yes.
didn't work, and he had a crash.
That's correct.
That makes him a fucking idiot.
And it seems
That's
weird
not
though,
the how.
for,
Yeah.
for him to say
it was
you guys
on-
should pull this data and do the right thing. He's displacing the blame off of himself to them, and I think they're kind of in the right position of like, you shouldn't have done this.
In no
you know?
universe would I have.
I would argue that
Driven
he,
a
I would
car
argue
in
he
Europe
shouldn't
without-
have done any of the things he did.
Yeah. I mean, it just.
Beginning with the time he gave Elon Musk $1,000 for a Model 3. I would rewind it that far.
The most entertaining part, though, is all the Tesla fanboys saying that he is a traitor for point.
So fickle.
Because he actually has a
fickle
lot
mob.
of very accurate, observations about the car's behavior. I mean, one thing, to Tesla's credit, despite the fact that the Model 3s are falling apart,
Yeah.
in the first, I drove across country in January, and within an hour, it was clear to me that the interface for autopilot on the 3 was fucking junk. It was stupid. It was badly designed and inferior to the S and X because the controls are on the center, the stalks don't work, and like within 3 weeks, Tesla had, and I wrote like 3,000 words about this.
I read it. It was not pretty.
Tesla implemented 100% of those recommendations.
There you go.
And what other car could do that? If only they could build cars like Toyota does.
Right.
Why? Yeah.
So.
Which is why if I was going to get an electric car,
You get a
it'd
Leaf?
probably be a Porsche Mission. Well, I loved my Volt, dude. Fucking loved my Volt. I would get another one. I just drove a Bolt. I went up to I popped into Sharkworks because they put new tires on the Evora. Sharkworks, strangely enough, first they had bought a fleet of electric smart cars. They bought 3 electric smart cars.
Why?
Don't know, but they really enjoyed them. And then they all went back on lease.
You're
they were company
vindicated,
cars.
Spinelli.
Thank you.
They got
And
the long
then-
wheelbase. That's what.
Scotto has one, doesn't he?
I think so. And then they got a Bolt, and I drove the Bolt, and it was actually quite lovely. But being in it just felt very minivan like. The Volt was nicer to me.
Yeah.
I'm a huge Volt fan.
But did you drive a Mission E?
No, I've not driven.
The
Mission E, no.
launch is happening literally.
I
right
saw
now.
pictures.
Yeah.
'Cause
No,
that
I'll
thing is-
probably. I think me and Porsche figured out how to work together now. I don't go on the launches anymore, but they are getting me cars. Frank's getting me Cayman GTS and Carrera T in July, and I get them for a week. Like that's way better than getting on a plane to Tenerife.
Well, you don't
Thank
think
you, Frank.
But you don't care about getting into Mission E because that seems.
Oh no,
to
I
me-
want to drive Mission E, but I definitely want to, but I don't particularly care about going on the
Well, and
launches.
the one right now is the prototype.
Right, that's
drive.
the Gran
So it's
Turismo
like-
thing.
Yeah, and it's not even like the production version.
Yeah.
Because they're quote not going to make
How
it.
long before?
when it's a thing, I'll go for sure. When
how
it's a
long
thing,
before
I'll
there's
go.
an
yeah.
electric 911, all full electric?
I think the next generation will have one.
I think the next generation will be the hybrid.
No, I don't think they'll ever do that. No,
I wouldn't
I think
entirely
they're gonna
mind a
ride
hybrid
that-
if they could make it not crazy heavy.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're going to ride that right into the ground, and that'll be the end of the 911.
You know what I'd really like to see? A 928 turbo hybrid.
Ooh.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just shorten that Panamera Sport Turismo by
Yeah,
2 doors.
yeah,
That would be hot.
yeah.
I would like to see
So
that.
you think rather than eventually 20 years from now making an electric 911, they would just put the 911 name to bed and then have like a new thing that looks
Yeah.
exactly like it, but that's electric?
Well, not like it. I think that if they won't need to, the 911 won't need to look like it does. So that basically,
They have to make a car that looks like that forever, dude.
that's yeah. But I mean,
who are you?
Well, I mean, you would say that, and I would say that, and like
the hottest one they make right now is the one with no turbos and a stick shift.
Yeah, that's right. But that's the thing is like that to build a 911 that doesn't, because like I just feel like that's their opportunity to finally put the 911 to bed.
They'll never do that.
Because it's not going to happen yet, and it's not going to happen for decades. So
I think they
it's
will
like-
100% do it.
I think they'll
It'll be
100%
quick
make
and
one.
fun, and the marketing, creative
I think
writing
it'll
that
be
they
a different
do
car.
very well.
I think
Yeah, it'll be
I think
neat.
it'll be a different a different car with a different number and a different brand.
No,
No.
no. They'll bring back the 911E.
Yeah,
It'll be
911E. Yeah.
And it's going to have a system.
no,
it's gonna have a
no,
system.
no.
They have a database on board of
911E.
every 911 ever made, and the electric powertrain will replicate the power to weight ratios of every. And you just pick the one you want.
This is your 2030 911
That's
review.
it.
That was a
which
very good
a
piece
really,
of writing,
really
by the way.
well written piece.
I didn't write that. It was sent to me from the future. I didn't write that shit.
Wait, what year did you pick? 2036.
I was off. I think it's gonna be 20.
Yeah, go to
28.
thedrive.com and search for Alex's 2036 Porsche 911
Yeah.
review. It's very funny.
But remember
your
this
acronyms are so boss.
Oh,
Some of your wait, what was your best your best acronym?
The PUBA.
What did it do?
Unterbusche.
Wait, can you get that article up? Tim?
Also, the Porsche.
It's
the Puss system.
2036 Porsche 911 review. There's some fucking acronyms for stuff in that. It was like the Porsche engine sonic management and like
the Doppelkacke
No, that was
2036 Porsche 911E. Keep go. Just scroll down until you find some really awesome acronyms. Can you punch in? Oh, there's I see Puba. Wait, what does it say? The Porsche's Ubergraten Bergschlag Auften? What the fuck is that?
That's the.
That's a great one.
Oh, that's the thing that comes out of the floor and charges on the road. I think. I don't know. Who knows? Whatever. What?
There's so many. Wait, PABE. What's PABE?
That's the Auswagen Elektrische Bahnsteig.
Which translates to Porsche Balanced Electric Platform.
Oh, it's a battery pack on a rail that moves forward and rear.
Oh, it's ballast.
in the car to change the balance.
Oh, so you can simulate a short
Yeah,
wheelbase.
you can submit anything you want.
And then what a PVAV is Porsche Virtual Car Simulation, which is where it makes the 911 feel like any other 911,
that's
right?
It's an onboard 911 database of all every 911 ever made. Genius.
PVAV.
Genius.
Yeah.
What else was on there?
This is the.
Energy. No.
I think
This doesn't have an acronym.
I don't know. I
Yeah,
think we're
keep
out of.
going.
Are we out of acronyms?
No, there's like 10 more.
PVSSA is Porsche Variable Stiffness Vibration Isolation.
It's the battery flexes itself to replicate the old chassis.
You had PKK, collapsible clutch pedal.
Yeah, it's a fake clutch with like it simulates clutches and it simulates old man. You get the idea.
That's so fucking awesome. It's a really good piece. I love that.
Inevitable.
Inevitable.
I bet it is. I bet that will happen.
It's where it's literally you're inside a driving simulator. It just moves around. Let's blast through these so we can finish up these show. Here's a great one. Are we planning on doing any thoughts on Jag Project 8? That's the XE where they've put the big SVR motor in
And
it
it's
and a big
super
wing.
expensive.
It's super. Are they
It's
making
really
like
expensive.
50 of them or something?
Wait, is that out yet?
Yo, I went on the launch for the XE. I swear to God, I haven't seen a single XE on the road.
I saw
ever.
my first one 2 days ago with JF, and we shot like a thing for Hearst for it.
Yeah, yeah.
And I went, "That's the first XE I've seen in the wild." And he's like, "I just thought the same fucking thing."
I swear,
They
I've
didn't-
never
I don't think they
seen
did.
one
I
on the road.
in Midtown East, and I was like, it's cool.
It's cool, but the F pace,
good.
the F pace is so much
course.
better looking that it pretty much renders it moot.
The back of the E in silver is very.
Yeah. It was a nice car, but it was sort of meh. It was sort of meh. I mean, 600 horsepower probably makes it nice.
Oh, it makes anything nice. But this
If it's
seems-
like an
wa-
F-type
wasn't-
SVR that seats 4, that's probably great.
But wasn't this like crazy expensive?
I think
and
so.
you know,
And-
Can't you just wait for that transmission thing to break?
The puck?
When the puck breaks,
Yeah.
it doesn't come up. Yeah.
Oh, speaking of things breaking, dude, I swear to God, I'm at the HRE open house and I'm hanging out with my friend Amber Blonigan. You know Amber.
I love Amber.
Yeah, at GI Motorsport, shout out in Santa Monica. If you've got a German car, you want independent service, GI Motorsport. Amber is a sweetheart. She's been a friend for a long time. She was there in a Ferrari GTC4 Lusso that was the new one, and it was like the 70th anniversary special. The motherfucker was 500 G's.
Wow.
Okay. Not the point. The point is, she's like, "Do you want to check it out?" And I haven't really fucked with these things at all. With the big the 4-seater Ferraris, I was like, "Oh yeah, let me check this thing out." So I go to sit in it. It's like the greenhouse is spectacular. This car is like ace. I'm so excited. I'm like, "Wow, this shit is so hot." And I go to get out, and it's an electronic, button door release, and it doesn't work. And I'm it's like 150 degrees in this car. It's been sitting in the sun all day and I haven't turned it on. And I'm like, oh no, like the button doesn't do
There's
anything.
no mechanical backup.
None. Doesn't do anything.
Like a Tesla.
So I'm like, oh my God, Amber. I'm like, it's so hot. I'm like dying. I'm like, Amber, start the car. And she's like, okay. So we started and it's like, the air conditioning's like not coming on. I'm like, turn the fucking air conditioning on. And she's like, all right, just chill. I'm like, it's so hot in here. Fucking freak out. And eventually I had put the windows down and reach out and open it from the outside.
It's
That's the
still
only way I
wouldn't
could.
work.
No, it's the only way. Yeah, the car had 300 miles on it.
Wow. Because the Corvette's got the little things at the bottom of the floor you
It
pull.
probably
like a gas
had
tank.
those somewhere. And if I was actually in like a super situation, I would
So
have.
if you're ever in a
figured that out,
capsizing
maybe.
boat, you're in trouble.
By the way, like, if you get into a Tesla Model X or the Falcon Wing doors and something bad happens, you lose power, to get out, you have to like remove a panel and then pull like,
No
like
way.
a metal
Like a plane?
yeah. And there's no mechanical exit for the rear of Model 3.
Wow.
What was so wrong
Seems
with
weird.
the lever? The lever really worked really nicely.
There was a really interesting article in the back of some car. What Bob Lutz basically wrote a thing about technology in cars and how it's like an arms race that sometimes people don't give a shit about other than the automakers.
Yeah.
It's like one of them invents a thing that they need to put in there to try to sell the new model, and then all the other car makers go, oh, we better
we
do
gotta have that
and then
too,
and
yeah.
it's like sometimes it's not. He's like, you're getting rid of volume knobs. No one was upset about volume knobs.
Oh,
Nobody likes
Haptic
using
controls.
Haptic
That's-
controls.
yeah, that's the
so
worst.
like the door level was fine.
The best exterior door handle, at least in terms of like feel, I always thought with the late 80s S-Class.
Yep.
Like it was just
Yeah.
Or the G-Wagon.
Yes.
Or the Bentleys were always really nice. Yeah. Nothing wrong with that. But all right, let's blast through a few of these. I have an E92 M3 and an LS1 swapped S2000.
Ooh.
After moving to San Diego, I only have room for one.
Oh.
The S2000 has no AC and no power steering. The M3 is practical but a money pit. I'm single with a 5-mile commute. What to do?
Buy a used Civic.
Yeah.
For real.
Sell
And
one
sell
and buy
the
the-
S2000.
well, ask yourself why
I
you're
guess you
single.
Can't keep both. Though.
Yeah, I mean, if you are really attached to both those cars and you have to keep one of the two, I'd probably keep the M3 despite it being a money pit.
Because that was built by the
And
company.
then get
Yeah.
a scooter. I'd get a Yamaha Zuma 125 like I have, and it's the greatest.
That's
especially
better
in San
than using
Diego.
Bird.
5 miles is a long way to ride a bird.
What happens if you hide the bird in your garage?
So I've tried that. I put it over my fence. Nothing really happened, but a lot of people got like real annoyed when the bird they looked for wasn't there and started like peeking over my, because it beeps. So it'd be like beep, 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 and then be like they'd be peeking
I
over
was
my
wondering
fence.
what that
good.
beeping was.
Yeah.
I just tried it for the first time
Yeah.
because this couple brought two of them up to Deus, and they came together, and I could tell they were so in love and happy to be together.
took one.
And as soon as they arrived, I'm like, fucking grab one, got out of there.
I watched a group of like 4 friends go into a store once, and I was like, yoink, and they came out like, hey, we were on that. I was like, oh, the software says you weren't, guys. Fucking real cruel to be on a bird. I would get a scooter or some other sort of short distance mobility thing. But yeah, if that's the case, or sell both of them and buy one 911, and that'll be that.
Jag XJR.
Yeah. Thank you, though. Tom owns a manual BMW 335i that I eventually want to use on the track. How difficult will it be to make it handle well or better than that of an M3?
Well, Alex had one of those. That was what he got a lot of the parts for his 135
Yeah.
from. And
From
his
the
was
M3?
Serious. No, from the 335.
Oh, from the 335, yeah.
Yeah, he had a built 335.
I don't think it's that hard. I mean, than a stock M3, I don't think it's that hard. I mean, a good suspension setup, a professional alignment, brakes and tires, and you'll be pretty much there. I mean, if you have
coilovers,
limited
brakes,
slip-
alignment. You
Yeah.
could probably do it without having to go the full like M3 control arms type of thing. You know, without widening the track as much.
It can be done. I think.
And you need a diff.
guy really learned a lot.
I think call up Turner or call up who
What?
else
Fuck
besides
both of you? What'd you say?
He said it. It wasn't me.
Who else besides Turner does suspension for those cars? A lot of people.
Turner sells stuff for I don't know. There's a shop in San Diego that. Oh wait, where's this guy based? We don't know.
I don't know.
Like ESS sells a lot of stuff. I don't know.
I don't
Philstein
think
makes
the
his
answer is.
cassette.
He said how difficult? Not that difficult. It will
The pe-
require
people have
some
done
money.
it.
People
You're
have
not
done
going
it.
to Mars.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You want to do it without doing body work. If you got to start doing body work though, then it becomes not worthwhile. All right. Oh, this one's for you, Alex. Just a note to say to Alex that I've had a lot of respect for you since you turned up to a car meet in Yorkshire in 2012.
Oh, that was that kid Connor. He died of cancer,
yeah.
and he was a Morgan fan and a Gumball fan. And Morgan lent me a Morgan 3-wheeler to go to an event for the kid. kid who was like in a hospice. He was dying, and like hundreds of. So I did a story in Jalopnik. I
think I remember this.
Like 800 people showed up with sports cars,
Yeah,
including a dude
yeah.
in a Noble.
Whoa.
And to take kids for rides.
Wow,
So that was the
cool.
one time I shut up and actually did the right thing.
Not very many people know what a classy motherfucker
sometimes.
is.
You have tendencies towards class when it matters.
And then right after that, I bought the domain driveawish.com. And I think I called you and said, let's do something with this. And you're like,
I don't recall
the
that.
smoking tire thing's going to take off.
I don't recall the drive. I don't recall Drive a Wish, but there's still
we should
time.
do something with that, dude. It'd be cool.
Yeah, Drive a Wish, where you go. And
we
you'll
get
have a
cars.
picture of Amel, and it'll be like Angry Birds, where you hurl cars at Amel's face. Drive a Wish. Couple just donations. Thank you very much. Drove. Let's see. Brian says I drove a perfect 997S Carrera manual, and it was perfect. Perfect car was perfect. Now I can't live without one, but I'm also broke. Is death my best option?
No.
Well, I would say saving money is. I don't know. They're not cheap, these things. It's a shame when shit is really expensive that you can't afford.
Save money and work.
I mean, look, not everybody that owns a Carrera is rich. There's a lot of middle class people rolling around
But
Carreras.
why does it have to be a 997? I mean,
I would say all Porsches are expensive now, but try an older one.
Yeah.
Try 996. Try different. You might be able to get into something that gives you an approximation for a lot.
I mean, there's a lot of value in 996s. I mean, I know people are kind of nervous about them because of the intermediate
Interior
shaft bearing
and-
shit, and di-IMS and like the of course the egg.
the embarrassment.
Just make
A
sure
lot
that
of
was
them
taken care of.
embarrassment.
But a lot of them have been done.
Yeah.
You can-
Yeah,
a lot of them,
a lot of that stuff has been done, even though some people say it's never really done, but whatever. And
Parker bought one, and he loves
yeah.
it.
There's
they're good
Parker
cars.
Nierenstein?
No, Parker Klingerman.
Klingerman.
Sorry.
Kligerman, yeah.
I also think you can get. I just saw on Bring a Trailer a Cayman went for under 20. Caymans are under 20 now.
That's
That
a
is
really
an
good
amazing-
idea.
So
Wait
you
a
may
minute.
want to look at a
Yeah.
Cayman.
You know what? Like, if you can get, well, all right. So even a Boxster. So even if you have nothing, right? All right, if you
A
can find a
2006?
99, all right. Nobody wants a 99 because of the bearing issue, but like. I just think the early Boxsters, even though they're slow as shit, sound
slow
the
as
best. And maybe if it's an S, you're not going to want a Boxster. But,
But
however,
so you
an
say slow,
06
and yet is it
Cayman,
not fun to drive?
they're fun as shit. Yeah, exactly.
This is fast and slow.
It's not about fun. It's about slow, but then if it breaks, it's expensive as if it were fast. That's the issue. There's nothing wrong with slow, but slow has to also be durable and or
You should.
affordable to fix.
So wait a minute. Can I just say, and I don't kiss your ass in a way that is just sort of universal. It's just this. But you need to write a book of just
isms.
one-liner
Truisms.
truisms. Yeah. Because you
yeah.
got so many of them now, and I don't know whether you're keeping track of them.
I'm not. They just come.
They just come and
Thoughts
go.
arrive like butterflies, even flow.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
So he don't know, so he chases them away. Yay!
The number one fan.
Pearl Jam, Amsterdam, June 12th, and Pink. It's the gayest sounding the Pink Pop Music Festival, which sounds like what's going to happen in Amel's jail cell every night. But it's actually
Wow.
Pearl
Hey,
Jam and the Offspring.
By the way, coming back from the track today, we strangely, and you'll appreciate this, we sort of strangely reenacted the car chase scene in Against All Odds.
Yeah, we dipped off the traffic and mobbed it up Sepulveda, driving like complete dickbags.
Yeah.
Up over the hill. Sometimes you got to get over
Why
that
are you
hill.
hitting me in the arm? Like
So
I
I
should
know,
be happy
because
for
you're
you.
He's the
old
only
enough to have
person
seen
old
that-
enough
that
to have
movie.
seen
I've
this
seen it.
movie.
I saw it in the
Tim, have you
theater,
seen that
actually.
movie?
So did I.
I saw it in the
Against
theater.
All Odds?
Do not
Oh,
know.
come on. You
my
look like
God.
you could be in the movie.
Go to YouTube, and it's not one of the greatest car chase scenes in history.
No. Do
but
not
it's
go to
pretty good.
YouTube.
No, all right, don't go right now.
We cannot. No, I'm just saying.
No,
we'll
not
get fucking
not you.
sued.
Yeah.
I
You
mean,
can't play YouTube videos
No,
on
no.
a YouTube show.
He's telling the listeners.
I'm saying
it's
to
okay.
listeners.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, not
84.
actually
My
go
bad.
there, Tim.
I'm
Sorry.
like, no, Tim, no.
Rachel Ward.
See,
yeah.
that's
James Woods.
Rachel Ward. James Woods is in a.
Oh my God!
what was
Remember when he wasn't a
308?
psychopath?
Phil
Yeah.
Collins.
It's a
Phil Collins?
Phil
No, he
Collins
did the
sang the
song.
song.
Oh, is this song for this movie?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know that. I only know it from Sirius Hits Live, which I play in my car
Hits
once a
Live.
month. Dun.
It almost seems like cars should be sold like vintage. They'll only play music of the year they came out.
Oh man,
That's pretty fun.
Oh.
why are car shows stuck in like sock hop 50s shit? They got to stop all
Well,
that.
that's why Radwood exists.
That's true. The
Finally.
most I saw
Yeah.
there was just blank. The most Radwoody car ever I saw yesterday. It was a mint Buick Reatta.
Oh.
and
With the display
Wait, you saw it
work?
yesterday?
dude, huh?
You saw it yesterday?
Yeah.
The interior
black-
display
It was white.
work.
No. It was driving, and the woman must have bought it new. She was 1,000 years old, and she was sitting about 4 inches from the steering wheel.
Oh.
That was the press photo.
Yep.
I mean, it actually it was kind of cool looking.
They Paco Ibarra bought one from Maximum
Seriously?
Drift podcast. He was going to make it a drift car. Profile looks really good.
Is it rear wheel drive?
He is making things
it's-
that shouldn't
it's
be.
not
things.
rear-wheel drive.
No,
That's a
but-
front-wheel drive
But he's
car.
also making a Previa drift van. So he's got.
That
a,
is
that
that is
actually
rear wheel
makes
drive.
sense.
I know, but
Yeah.
he's cutting a lot of things off and putting things on.
I think this would be a good car for gambler. I think it would look good lifted on
It
super
looks
swap.
photoshopped.
Wait, what's that red one on rims there, Tim?
It looks
on the left? What's
photoshopped
that?
to be shorter than what it is.
Yo, on
That's
those are
kinda-
C
Good
those are
shape.
C5 wheels. Those are C5 Corvette chromes, right? Aren't they 17s off a C5 Corvette?
They do look like it.
Look
Uh-oh.
at that thing.
Tim, what's that?
It's
Is
the
that
mouse.
okay?
We need a new mouse.
All right, Bluetooth mouse, Amazon. That on C5 Corvette chromes, it looks very hilarious. The Reatta. What? My tennis instructor drove one when I was 8.
Of course.
Yeah.
So I remember this conversation. I had this conversation. It's like one of those things that just sticks in your head your whole life. I had this conversation on the tennis court with this woman. The first day I saw this Reatta, I said, "What's your favorite car?" Darlene, or what the fuck her name was. And she was like, "I like this Buick Reatta I've got." And I was like, No, like real sports car, real car. I called it a real car, and I remember seeing her face like melt. I was like 8. I insulted her. Anyway, what do we think about self-driving features on sports cars or classic cars? What if you could drive to the pub in Alex's 3-wheeler, then just have it take you home drunk?
100%. That's the killer app of autonomous sports cars. Drive me home from the track. That's it.
I'm tired at the end of that track day.
I'm fucking tired.
Like all cars are going to have this as an option in the future, so it's a pointless exercise.
All right.
Yeah, I don't need to retrofit anything. But Morgan's, Morgan's autonomous features will not
what,
be strong.
You know what Soichiro Honda said? He said, because he said in the future there'll only be 6 car companies left in the world, and Morgan.
In 2032, all restaurants are Taco Bell.
He'll be a pretty smart guy. Yeah.
Is the Volvo 240 the new E30?
Ooh,
good question. Now
really
that
good
E30s are
question.
too expensive, is a Volvo 230?
What was the
240?
cool
I think
one? with
240 is
vinyl
already
roof?
expensive.
The 262 Bertone.
Yeah,
Volvo
it's fucking-
262.
Does-
the crown badge?
Yeah. That
Yeah,
was the
that's the
Bertone
262 Bertone. There it is.
Fuck
There it
I
is.
think that one was David Bowie's. I think David Bowie had one of these.
What was
It's
the
like a chop? It's a high shoulder chop roof.
If-
I preferred the second gen, the Volvo 780 coupe.
Yeah.
I liked a lot.
Does the 240 have the like motorsports support and the swappability? Like the E30 could take parts from later cars, newer cars. Does the
I
240
think
have that?
240s are really like that one's great, Tim. The brown.
Oh, yes, that's the one.
Wow.
The interiors are amazing too.
Yeah, they're
That
really
beautiful,
comfortable.
like tufted leather.
Yes, they can, Zach. You can engine swap them. You can put all different kinds
also
of motors in these
the
things.
block is super stout. You could
You can turbo 'em,
Yeah,
it's
they
true.
turbo. Remember the guy in San Diego that was turboing these things, and they raced them in touring cars. The 242 turbo was a there. That's the pedestrian interior. You got the real interior. The 242 turbo has the fucking bolstering and shit. They raced them back in the day in Sweden. Swedish touring car
That
rally.
steering wheel is terrible.
That's cool.
Yes.
Dude, there's when we were in Iceland, there was a guy at the shopping center we were parked who had a off the showroom floor 77 a Volvo.
Yeah.
And he looked like the fucking king of Iceland.
Yeah.
You know how proud he was, this fucking guy. But there was another person there I saw at a stoplight, had a Saab, like a Saab 9-3 or something, Saab 900 at night, and he had engaged the night dash button. You know the night dash button?
No.
Yeah.
It was a button on the dash. You pressed it, and it turned off all the interior lights except the Speedo.
Oh, you know what had that? A Saab 9.3 Vigan, my friend had.
Night
I
dash,
drove
right?
that. Yeah,
Those-
it made all the lights go off except the central speedometer.
That's the fucking.
That's the Thaddeus feature.
That's so cool.
Anytime Thaddeus would borrow my cars, I'd get back in it at night, and all the whole car would be the dimmest. His little sensitive eyes, they're so sensitive. Thaddeus, he's meeting me in Amsterdam for Pearl Jamsterdam, and he's like, "Oh, cool. When you're coming, he's like, I'm sending a couple things to your house that I can't get in Dubai. Would you mind like bringing them for me?" And I was like, "Hey, no problem." I just got a box that is like 3 half-gallon bottles of shampoo that I'm supposed to carry.
Oh my god! Wait, I saw him with. Was there a bottle of sriracha?
It was
also,
3 bottles of shampoo and a Richard Avedon coffee table book. That's what he said.
There is nothing more Thaddeus than that.
We got to blast through these and finish up this show. When we bring back Jack and Mark Bruth, Nick, they can come back anytime they are in town. They have an open invite at the table. I skipped the other one from Nick. For Zach, now that you've driven the Civic Si and the new Accord, which one would you get for a daily?
Civic. It's big enough.
Yeah, the Civic's like big now, and
big.
the Accord's like real big.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm in the back of Civics as Ubers all the time, and I have
like plenty
no
of room.
problem
It's
in
like
the back
getting in
seat.
an Avalon, basically.
Yeah. Civic, the new Avalon.
Avalon,
The Avalon was
new
the
three-bedroom home.
last production sedan on the market with a front bench seat option.
Oh right.
Yeah. Bozy drove UU's Model 3 and agrees with Alex.
There you
That
go.
it was shitty?
I think she just agrees with me in general.
Bozy's the man.
Bozy's the man, dude. I talk a lot.
Hoonable on Twitter is Bozy. He's a fucking genius. He's the most interesting Twitter feed out there.
I talk to a lot of like venture capital funds and private equity firms who are doing like real research into Tesla manufacturing, and they are like, "Do you know Bozy?" Like he's
amazing.
highly respected.
He digs through like patent filings and job lists. Like
He's more of a journalist than a lot of folks at the Wall Street Journal.
Honestly, like I can't get enough of the stuff that when he makes those connections between parts numbers
Yeah,
and
it's
what's
crazy.
I can't get enough of that. It's
Yeah,
like
it's great.
it's the greatest Twitter feed ever.
when I was considering buying an SL, I was like, "Yo, Bose, what do you think about this?" And he wrote me like a 3,500 word dissertation. I was like, you could just publish that as a story. What do you think of a Pro Touring Datsun 280ZX? We see a lot of these stuff. I see Skyline motors. I've seen LS motors. I've seen old school V8s. Hot rodded L28s or whatever that
I
engine
think a
was.
late period 280ZX
Black
would look
gold.
like a black gold and newer, like kind of sort of what you did to the
It
to
could
the
be
Mustang.
mean. It could be mean. I've seen
Yeah.
there's a guy who's running around full blacked out, widened with a Skyline engine and
Yeah.
thing, and it's mean as fuck.
Yeah,
yeah.
I say yes.
I'm pro that. Let's see. Good replacement car for a 2015 WRX with 300 wheel horsepower. See, if you want to go, you should tell us if you liked it or not. You know,
Or how much money do you have?
yeah.
Or what are you doing with it?
I think they're limited on how much they're allowed to write. There's a character limit, but
But he was shorter than that
He
one.
was shorter than a lot of the other ones. Good. You know, if you want to stay, there's only a few cars in this category.
yeah,
like,
I mean, I can't think. Well, only like
what is an
Evo.
upgrade from a WRX? A Ford
New
Fusion Sport,
WRX.
Ford
Yeah.
Fusion Sport Titanium. I don't know.
I mean, that is an upgrade. They're giant and fast, but
I
pretty
mean,
expensive.
maybe an M2. Do you have M2 money?
Oh,
do you
M2.
have
Right? Do you need all-wheel drive? Because the M2
Yeah.
is awesome, but it's it's $50,000. and
maybe
it's all-wheel drive.
what about a Mercedes GLA 45? That's sort of like a slightly grown up rally
That's
car.
100% it. Yeah,
Slightly
yeah.
grown up rally car.
Yep.
GLA 45.
That's the
a good one.
adults. Yeah, the adults WRX.
Yes, the
Done.
the classy
235?
rally
Are
car.
235s cheap now?
BMW 235?
Yeah.
They're probably cheap. Yeah. I wouldn't get the all-wheel drive one. The all-wheel drive one sucked, but the rear drive one was fun.
Remember the X1 we drove on Rally North America that ran like 11s?
The old X1.
Yeah.
That's not the same as the new X1.
Right. No, I know.
Yeah, the
That
new
was-
X1
that
is
was good.
FWD. The old one, the old X1 35 was fast.
Yeah,
Yeah.
proper fast.
Did Alex say he rode in a Noble? Has anyone at the table been in a Noble?
I've seen
No.
one in Venice.
No, I've definitely
Sweet
not.
looking.
What are you doing?
No.
Are you streaming or something?
Facebook
Are you
Live.
meta-
You went live,
Are
didn't
you
you?
meta?
No,
You're
you
like
went
live
live.
streaming the live stream. Joven shaved his head so he can look like Alex and Matt.
Nice.
My all-time role models. No pressure, nothing. We're not role models.
No.
We try. Oh, what does that say? He liked the handling. Budget is $30K. The power was nice. $30K. 30K. You liked the handling.
Wait, what is he referring to? Did he have?
That was the WRX guy.
Thank you.
You like the handling and budget is 30.
Get a new WRX.
Porsche 928.
I mean, a new WRX is probably not a. I mean,
The 15 is the newest one.
Yeah.
15's the newest one, isn't it?
I mean,
They haven't changed anything since
They haven't
then.
changed
True.
anything since
Not
then.
really.
It's not good looking.
I mean,
Well, 5 more K. Just put a
30
deposit on
gets you
Model
like
3.
a real nice. Yeah, right. Gets you a real nice used BMW if you wanted to get in that thing. Might get you a Chevy SS.
I mean, how important is the all-wheel drive thing?
I don't know.
Get snow tires.
It's tough to have this conversation.
Snow tires? Yeah.
Chevy
30.
SS would be sweet.
You
That
know,
would be sweet.
the problem is for 30 grand, there's nothing you can get new that's much different than that.
Yeah,
you know, now are we opening it up to used? Are we really opening it up to used German cars? Like, shit, I don't know. Like, what's a used Lexus ISF?
Oh.
What's that?
It's hard. They're hard to fucking
They're
find.
hard to find?
That's yeah.
Yeah.
What
but
about
they're-
used
they've-
used S4?
They've held
Used
their
S4
value.
maybe?
Like a very recently used S4.
Yeah, Audi S4. Maybe you used Audi S3, the new S3. Yeah. That's
Or used Golf R. Did those come down at all in value?
You could, yeah.
The new
Slightly
ones-
used Golf R, maybe?
It's funny how the new ones depreciated more than the first.
The
gen.
always
R32s
happens.
held.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
really
were
did.
because the sound. You know why? They look good. They sound good.
You used
Cars that
Golf
look
R.
good and sound
Yeah.
good. Was that the end of them, Tim?
That's it, bud.
Sweet. Thank you all for participating in Super Chat today. That was fun.
That's cool. I like Super Chat.
Yeah.
Me
So
too.
you guys are in town to shoot NBC Sports. Is that
Yeah.
what you're doing?
Yeah, we're doing. I'm doing a little thing with Singer.
Oh, you are?
Yeah.
Are you driving it?
I think I might be.
Can't believe
Damn
they're
it!
letting
They
him.
couldn't hook it up. I asked. Because I guess relinquished the NBC business card. You relinquished the Singer drives. Wah wah.
Oh.
That'll be fun.
Well, yeah, I have. I mean, I never did. I'm hoping it. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure it'll be everything that everybody always says.
Yeah.
But we've been sort of, just as an aside, we were obsessing about. Is it our Grupa like in
Our Gruppe?
our Gruppe?
Grupp.
Probably our
Gruppa.
Yeah, all those old, all those
the Long
like
Island guys.
Yeah, the guys from out here that hot rodded 911s.
Man, they're very
Are you?
exclusive.
Do you?
club.
They're
Are you
very
talking to
exclusive
Rod as well, Emery? Or no?
No,
Oh, okay.
just because of time.
It was timing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that'll be fun.
But I mean, honestly, this is I sort of, I don't think we're going to be able to, but I would really have loved to expand it into like Jack Olson and like those guys that.
What you're really saying is you want to find out if his singer's worth it.
No. It's just that there's this entire world, and
Because a lot of boys want to find out. A lot of 13-year-olds
and
want
had
to know.
Mike brought
Singer,
up any of
is
these
it worth
ideas
it?
before,
I
I know.
before the
it's-
shoot, we might have been able to.
It's my fault. But honestly, like we do short segments for the show. Like
Yeah.
I mean, there's a possibility of doing like maybe we'll do something one day
the drive.
Yeah, or something. Yeah.
Well,
One of these
that'll be
days, you
fun.
should do another singerization debate. Like what?
The next thing. Well,
What-
someone
yeah.
is
We
someone's
had that
singerizing old Range Rovers. There's a
yeah.
company in England that's doing it. John
Range
Ward,
Rover does it themselves, don't
Are
they?
they doing it themselves as well?
And Jaguar
No,
did-
Range Rover's restoring to factory.
Ah,
They're
yes,
not.
yes,
Yeah,
yes,
there's a
yes,
company
yep.
in Europe that's doing some crazy thing with old 80s Range Rovers and sort of not quite the level of Singer, but over the top. Jags would be fun. They did a Jag one. Jag did that.
Jag did. Yeah.
Who was that? Who was the guy?
Oh, I can't remember.
Can you
You're talking about the
thing from the was it Geneva Auto Show?
Yeah.
It was Jaguar XJ,
You mean the continuation one?
the crazy pro like.
Oh,
shit! I don't even know what to
crap.
search for.
I don't know what are they called? It's that company. Eagle? No.
Pro-
Eagle?
Was it Eagle?
Eagle made the
Was
it
Eagle?
Is it Eagle?
No,
yeah,
that's not
XJ.
it. No, it was something that it was Jaguar brought it to like the Geneva Auto Show or something, and it was
Yeah.
some musician's crazy Jag
Wait a minute. Was
pro
it
touring.
That's
Nico McBrain from
McBain.
McBrain.
McBrain. Who's McBrain?
His wife gives him
drummer.
McBrain.
The drummer
Iron
of Iron Maiden.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Can you search that guy? The
It's Nico, yeah, Jaguar XJ Nico McBrain. And Nikeo.
There we go. That's it.
There we go.
Yeah,
That's
the images. This shit is hot. This is like
shit is hot.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
There
This
you
is
go.
like what I want to see from a singerized Daimler 66.
Yes. There we go. We finally.
And look, they did the grill.
have the
They
answer.
did the
That's
grill.
right.
They did.
They cleaned it up though.
Yeah,
Can
that's
I-
like wire 19-inch wheels, a subtle fender flare, just like smooth and modern. I don't know what the powertrain
Can we
is. It's hot.
backdate my car to do this?
Yeah.
Because I think.
Can you get a
that-
side profile?
I
Sam?
think.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Right? Everything about that is perfect.
Yep.
Everything.
Mike, you can
know what-
backdate your
you know
car and
what?
update your bank
I
account.
always liked. Remember
Yeah.
the
Yeah, that's
NSU?
Yes.
Like that was like the original Audi A4.
Yeah.
Before Audi.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fucking cool.
Yeah.
That's very
All right, we'll have fun in shooting your shit.
Yeah.
When does the new season come out? September again? Something
Yeah,
like
usually
that?
October.
Yeah, September, October. Mike Spinelli on Twitter. What else? Just on Instagram?
Yeah, Mike Spin on Twitter, Mike Spinelli on Instagram, and yeah.
Alex Roy, columnist for The Drive.
No. Now I am the founder of the Human Driving Association.
Yes.
A safety lobby organization fighting for you.
Follow Human Driving.
Humandriving.org.
Humandriving.org. I'm on the board, I think.
You are.
I think. I don't really know what that means.
Discuss it.
And that's the shit. That's the game. Is this... I think we got another live show before I go out of town, but I can't remember right now because it's been a long day and I'm tired. Anyway, Smoking Tire Podcast powered by Shout Engine. Get your own damn podcast at shoutengine.com, etc., and on. Speak words into microphone, broadcast to the internet. Goodbye.
There you go.